So far, the Joe Gibbs comeback tour has seen a lot of close games, but only one win. And speaking of comebacks, Brian Urlacher, the current monster of the Midway, is back in the lineup on defense for the Bears. Today, it's high noon in Chicago, and we've got it for you. Week 6 of the NFL on Fox. It's the Washington Redskins visiting the Chicago Bears. Hello again, everyone. I'm Kurt Menefee, along with my partner Tim Green. And Tim, both these teams come in having played a lot of close games, but with only one win apiece. And when you take a look at them, it's kind of easy to see why only one win.
Well, it is, Kurt. I mean, both teams are really struggling on offense. And for the Bears, you know, it makes some sense because Rex Grossman is out and they've got Jonathan Quinn, and he really had a poor performance against the Eagles 2 weeks ago before their bye. They've got some injuries on the offensive line. But for the Washington side of the ball, it's a surprise because they've got names like Brunell and Portis and Lavernius Coles, 6 Pro Bowls between those 3 players. And you think this is an offense that should just explode. They're not on track right now. They told us that they're just inches away. We'll see today.
And Mark Brunell told us this is a desperation game for the Redskins. They can't afford to go 1-5 and then end up where they expect to be.
Well, you're right. And the good news for the Washington team is their defense is extremely strong. They're number 3 in the NFL right now, led by this guy, Greg Williams. And I think it's really kind of brilliant the way he's used his blitz package. At the same time, he's had a lot of backup players step up for injured starters, and these guys haven't missed a beat. They've been able to blitz without getting beat by the blitz. And then I think the same thing for the Chicago Bears. Their strength really is with their defense, especially this retooled defensive line.
And on the defensive side for the Bears, you can't say it enough. Number 54 is back. They think that Urlacher is a difference maker, and why not? He's been to 4 straight Pro Bowls in his first 4 seasons. Of course, there's still time for you to select your singular fantasy football team for this week. Text message PLAY to 63504 on your singular wireless phone, or log on to foxsports.com and make your choices. Back with the opening kickoff. 2 of the great franchises in NFL history going at it next. It's mid-October at Soldier Field, so what do you expect? 37 degrees, windy afternoon, wind swirling all around as Joe Gibbs comes back to a place that probably has a special feeling in his heart. You're going, well, why is that? If you go all the way back to his first season as a head coach, 1981, very similar start to what they have this year. Actually, even worse as far as the record goes and the defense. But he got his first ever win as a head coach right here at Chicago, and that turned things around, Tim. That team went on to go 8-8 and went to the Super Bowl the next year.
And if you look at this team, you can see that they weren't playing as good a defense as they are today. So they had the same offensive struggles back then, but their defense on this go-around is playing very, very strong football.
And Gibbs will come into Chicago today looking for a win, but with a different kicker. Ola Kimron just signed late this week. Played in NFL Europe for the last 3 years, was with the Redskins during training camp. John Hall, one of the most sure-footed kickers in the league, pulled a groin muscle in practice on Thursday, out definitely this week, and so Kimron will get his first ever action in the National Football League. Kimron kicks it off. Bernard Berrien back to take that one. The rookie with a little running room out to about the 31-yard line. And that's where another former NFL Europe star, Jonathan Quinn, will take over. Quinn made his first start for the Bears in their last game, which was 2 weeks ago. They had the bye last week. Took on the Philadelphia Eagles, lost that game 19-9, struggled at the beginning, but performed much better in the second half.
The thing that everyone says about John Quinn is he has the physical tools. He's tall, he's strong, he's got a strong arm, and they say he can even run with the football, but he's got to just settle down and put it all together.
On first down, they give it to Thomas Jones, and Jones will pick up 4 yards on the run. Well, this Bears offense struggling right now just a little bit with the injuries on the offensive line. So Steve Edwards, who was a starter last year, will replace Reuben Brown, who is out for this game. Brown had knee surgery during the bye week. And there you see Thomas Jones and Brian Johnson, the former Redskin, in the backfield. As far as the receivers, they like what they have. They just haven't gotten them involved in the action so far this season. As Jones picks up a couple of yards. And what they wanted to do early in this ball game was try and establish the run. And this Redskins defense is tough to run against. Number 3 overall in the National Football League. Number 2 against the run in the National Football League. And you look at the names and you're going, well, who are some of these guys? Well, they're replacing guys like Michael Barrow, who they thought would be a big player at middle linebacker. LeVar Arrington, who's missing his 4th week after undergoing knee surgery. And right now they've got Ryan Clark starting for Matt Bowen, who blew out his knee last week and is done for the rest of the season.
This is where Washington loves to blitz.
Bears need the 42. Quinn has time. Goes up top and overthrows Bobby Wade, incomplete. And so it'll be a 3 and out for Quinn and the Bears.
And Kurt, the Bears offensive line does a really nice job on this by protecting Quinn against the blitz. Here comes the blitz from the outside, and they do a nice job. Desmond Clark, the tight end, stays in. Thomas Jones stays in. So Quinn's got the time. But I'll tell you what, there was excellent coverage downfield by Washington, and he really didn't have an open target.
Brad Maynard comes on to punt to Chad Morton for the Redskins. High kick forces Morton to take the fair catch, and he'll do it just about the 23-yard line. And so we'll see Mark Brunell try and bounce back from what was a rough performance last week against a tough Baltimore Ravens defense. Came out of that game only 13 of 29 for 83 yards and a touchdown.
You have to realize this is a guy who's been to the Pro Bowl. He's been successful in the National Football League, and he was pretty lighthearted when we spoke with him last night, but he realizes how serious this offensive situation is right now. This is an offense that's not playing with a lot of confidence. They need to get their confidence back with some early success.
Rolls out on first down. And that one's thrown out to his tight end, Walter Rasby, and Rasby will pick up 12 yards and a Redskin first. So good progress to begin this game for this Redskins offense that, as we said, has struggled. Bounced a couple of guys in and out on the offensive line as well, and now 41-year-old Ray Brown will get the start at right tackle in his 19th year in the National Football League.
Well, that first play was like clockwork, just a naked bootleg and a pass to the tight end for a first down.
Clinton Portis' first carry goes nowhere. Dropped in the backfield for a loss of a yard. Alex Brown and Ian Scott, the first guys to get there.
Kurt, when you think about Clinton Portis and you talk about the success that he hasn't had here with Washington, a big part of it has been penetration by defensive linemen actually hitting Portis in the backfield. So for everyone who wants to see Portis, you know, go back to the 1,500-yard Pro Bowl seasons he had in the first 2 years, he's got to at least get to the line of scrimmage. He needs some openings from his offensive line.
Portis again does a couple of dance moves and finds the room to get out and pick up another Redskin first down on a nice run of 12. Looking at the Bears defensively, this unit has a lot of young faces. This team, the youngest team in the National Football League for the second straight year, and they are so happy to get Brian Urlacher back in the middle. He's missed the last 2 games and the bye week, of course, with an injured hamstring that bothered him and forced him to miss all of training camp. Portis again. Back to the line of scrimmage, falls forward for 2. Well, they've come out and said, Clinton, take the ball, run, run, run.
Well, and they had success not on the last play, but 2 plays ago, Kurt, because they came out, they spread the defense, they made it look like a pass, and then they ran the draw play. So the offensive line, they set up and make a pocket like it's a pass, and then Clinton Portis, look at the moves he puts, and that's what Portis has. He's got change of direction, he gets to the hole, and then he accelerates up through it. If you give him some daylight, he's going to do something with it.
Portis, quick pass, batted. That was a good job by Alex Brown, the defensive end, of getting up and knocking that one away.
That was an athletic play, but that was also knowing tendencies, studying it. This wide receiver screen has been one of the things that has worked for the Washington offense. So Brown gets up, he knows exactly what it is right away. He cues in on Brunell. He doesn't go for the quarterback. He just goes with that big hand and knocks the ball down.
Portis checks out on third down. Liddell Betts comes in, and the Redskins need the 44 of the Bears to convert here. There's Brunell. Under pressure, flushed out, flag goes down. And Brunell chucks that one downfield. Rod Gardner, the intended receiver, but is thrown short. There's another flag in the secondary as well. Well, we've got 2 penalties on this play. We'll see what Bill Vinovich, our referee, has to say about it.
There were 2 fouls on the play. Holding, offense, number 86. Pass interference, defense, number 32. Penalties offset, replay third down.
One of the things this Bears defense has been able to do, Kurt, is get pressure on the quarterback with just a 4-man rush. Alex Brown comes from this side, Ogunleye comes from that side, and you see pressure with a 4-man rush on Mark Brunell from this Bears defense. That enables everyone else to drop back into coverage, and you see the big coverage zone back there. And so Brunell doesn't have an open receiver to throw to.
And after the offsetting penalties, it winds up being a do-over.
The Bears aren't a big blitzing defense, but Urlacher's showing it now.
So is Briggs. They come. Under pressure again. And this time Brunell throws it down the sideline, but it's out of bounds.
They're going to have to do something to address Alex Brown because he just made 3 defensive plays in a row.
And he's going against Chris Samuels, who's a former Pro Bowler.
Exactly, and on this one, there's even some help with Walter Rasby out here. Rasby's the tight end. And so I think that's a mismatch. To try to block Alex Brown singled up with a tight end, you're not going to win that battle.
Here's Tom Tupa, the busiest punter in the National Football League. That's a low, ugly kick. It'll take a Redskin bounce, and R.W. McQuarters had trouble picking it up. Just basically trying to save field position as he steps out at the 13, give him 38 yards on the punt.
Fox NFL Sundays brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Alex Brown with 3 nice pass rushes to pressure Mark Brunell and stop the Washington offense, in which it's not been uncommon this season at all to stop the Washington offense. But Brunell had the one nice throw on the naked boot, and Clint Portis had the one nice run on the draw. So because of those 2 plays, they actually put their defense in pretty good field position.
And right now, it'll be Quinn and the Bears with their second offensive possession. Ball on the 14-yard line. The pitch to Jones. Thomas Jones will get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Nice tackle made by Marcus Washington there.
Well, Marcus Washington is a free agent who they brought from Indianapolis. He was a defensive lineman in college, so you know he has the ability to rush the passer from the outside, and they made him an outside linebacker. And one thing that he does, he typically will dominate a tight end. Tight ends in this league cannot block Marcus Washington. You see him getting off Desmond Clark right there. He gets under him, leverage, sheds him, and makes a lot of tackles.
They fake the handoff on second. Out of the backfield, Brian Johnson. Excellent open field tackle made by Fred Smoot. Short pickup on that play, but Smoot, known much for his pass coverage, showing that he can tackle there.
That's a nice tackle for a cornerback, especially someone like Johnson. Here comes Washington. Watch him here. I said he could rush the passer there. You see him sidestepping Thomas Jones. He puts the heat on Quinn. And then this is, like I said, that is not a typical Washington number 21 defensive player tackle, because when Deion Sanders wore that number, you would never see a tackle like that.
Bears go with the empty backfield, needing the 29. Quick pass by Quinn, and he's on a different page from David Terrell.
Well, they are just putting instant pressure on Jonathan Quinn. And when a defense puts instant pressure on the quarterback, he's got to make an instant decision. And we said from the beginning,
Quinn has the size, the strength, the arm strength, right? He can even run the ball, but you got to make quick decisions, and the only way to do that is a lot of reps, and that's one thing he's not had in the National Football League.
This just his 6th start in the National Football League, and the other 4 were spaced out over 7 years. A bad punt by Maynard. That went off the side of his foot. And this will be great field position for the Redskins at the 47 as they take over for the 2nd time following a 37-yard punt by Maynard. Well, Lovie Smith in his first year as the head coach of the Chicago Bears, defensive-minded guy.
Well,
last 3 years defensive coordinator in St. Louis, and before that with the Bucs.
And then, Kurt, I think both of us found it interesting how similar he is in his demeanor to Tony Dungy. And he said that he learned a lot from Tony and how to be a head coach, but very similar personalities, very calm, but very strong.
Redskins come out with good field position and 2 tight ends. The pitch to Portis. Alex Brown giving chase, can't catch him. R.W. McQuarters does, but only after he picked up another 12 yards.
Well, I like that play. That's a different kind of play than we've seen from Washington when you break them down on film. And if you look at Clinton Portis, this average per carry leads the NFL all time. I mean, think about it. You know, Gale Sayers and Barry Sanders and names like that. You know, Jim Brown and Portis leads them all. Now, you see this season is where he struggled. Only 3.6 yards a carry this season. But today, right now, he's doing much better than that.
Just outside the 40 on 1st down. Portis again. Back to the line of scrimmage. Falls for a pickup of 1. We need to pick up Jeannie Zelasco for the first time today for an NFL game break.
Coming along for the ride. How many times have we seen this? Willie McGinnis coming up with a turnover, and then the Patriots able to capitalize. Corey Dillon punching it in 1 yard, and the Patriots on the board.
12 men. Check it out.
All right, well, that's the game that everybody's kind of watching, saying, can Seattle bounce back from a tough loss last week, and can they be the contender in the NFC while the Patriots just try to keep on chugging along win after win?
I think Seattle, with their defense and with the balance that they have on offense, they have the ability really to beat anybody.
6, 340. They fake it to Portis. We're now trying to go down the sideline to Lavernius Coles, and it's incomplete.
That's just outstanding coverage by R.W. McQuarters, because he had the body position on Lavernius Coles. He had him boxed out, and he really pinned Coles right down into the sideline. Watch him here. He gets up over the top. He takes the inside position, and that's really good coverage by McQuarters.
What's that on his face? Is that his kid's Band-Aid? Something from Toys R Us, I do believe. Redskins need the 30 for the 1st. With time, Brunell steps into it and gets it to Coles, and that's a 1st down for the Redskins.
This time the Washington offensive line sees the 4-man rush, and they beat the 4-man rush. Watch the pocket that Washington's offensive line gives Mark Brunell. And you see now Michael Haynes is rushing instead of Woods on the outside. Brunell has plenty of time. He can survey the whole field. You see him looking around the whole field, and he finds Lavernius Coles in the open spot of the zone.
This offensive line, we talked about the changes they've had. They've bounced around with centers. They've changed the right tackle. But so far, they've made the adjustment from the first series when they had trouble protecting.
Corey Raymer told us last night that the offensive line was embarrassed by their performance last week against the Baltimore Ravens.
Timeout here in Chicago. Still no score midway through the 1st. Oh, this is one of the oldest rivalries in the league. 1940, the worst beating in a championship game ever. 73-0, the Bears laid it on the Redskins. But these two teams have gotten together since 1932. They've met 7 times in the playoffs. And you talk about tradition and history. When you talk about the National Football League, these two franchises are right there. The Chicago Bears and the Washington Redskins. And you see the numbers, 2 of only 4 that have 500 victories. The Packers and the Giants, the other 2. Clinton Portis runs right through the hole, straight ahead. and he picks up 5 yards. And Portis is looking as good as he has since the first game of the season.
Well, he is. He's up over 5 yards a carry right now, and they're doing it with different runs, Kurt. We saw that one run on the quick toss where he went to the outside. He's doing some quick hitting runs up the middle. We saw the draw play, and I think right now this offense is starting to regain some of the confidence that they lost after their first win in week 1.
They go with 3 wide receivers. You see Portis' numbers on the day as he gets another carry, his 7th. Not as successful, but still picking up positive yards. We need to pick up Jeannie Zelasco once again for another game break.
Well, at Detroit, so many questions about the health of Brett Favre. Well, he is giving the Lions a headache early. 7-yard strike to Donald Driver. Packers in the driver's seat for a nanosecond because here comes Detroit. Joey Harrington beat Akeem. 28-yard pass. Akeem finds the end zone. Tie ball game.
Gosh, I saw Jeannie when I was in bed last night about midnight doing baseball. Now she's back. She's got another long day. The hardest working woman in show business. Brunell being pressured again. He just throws that one away to save space for the field goal.
Mark Brunell told us yesterday that sometimes the best thing a quarterback can do is throw the ball away, but he's been under pressure because this offense has struggled. He's put himself under some pressure to try to make a big play. But when you're in a situation like this, and Michael Haynes does a nice job of containing him, and you don't have an open receiver downfield, sometimes the smart thing to do is throw it away and try to kick a field goal. And he told us that's easier to do away than it is at home.
You saw Ola Kimmeren's numbers from NFL Europe. This is his first National Football League attempt from 41 yards out. And the strong-legged kicker makes it through. So Kimmeren's first ever field goal in the NFL gives the Redskins their first lead at 3-0.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. By Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game. By Levitra, ask your doctor about it today. Levitra, when it counts. And by HP, services and technology help companies face, manage, and love change.
Well, Ola Kimmeren put the Redskins on the board, and what a week he's had. Had been cut by the Redskins in training camp, hung out waiting for an NFL team to call. No one had called by Wednesday. Hopped a plane, went back to his native Sweden, landed. 30 minutes later, the Redskins called, said, hey, we want to re-sign you. He flies all the way back on Friday and now makes his first NFL field goal. Bernard Berrien takes this one at the 5. Another nice return of 26 yards, and the Bears will get a chance from the 31 when we come back to Soldier Field. Wait a minute. We're not going anywhere just yet because there's a flag down on the field. Hey, there is no flag. So we're going. We'll be back. All the Chicago Bears trying to get something going on offense. 2 possessions, 2 3-and-outs so far.
Well, offensive coordinator Terry Shea told us that he really wanted to try to establish the run early, to try to take some of the pressure off of Jonathan Quinn. And they have not established the run at all. Anthony Thomas now in the game instead of Thomas Jones.
And Thomas shifts to the backfield along with Brian Johnson at fullback. Quinn has the time again over the middle and overthrows Desmond Clark.
And that's just an awful pass. And unfortunately for John Quinn, that's what he did against Philadelphia.
So what do you do to get the guy going?
You throw some shorter passes, you spread, you know, you maybe a 2-minute offense to try to make things a lot easier. I mean, he's got nice protection there, but that's a pass. I mean, really, the receiver isn't even open. You know, that's a pass I don't know if he should even have thrown.
And Terry Shea, the offensive coordinator in his first season here, talked about trying to get him something so he could have success early, like a running game or short passes. So they go to the running game, and Anthony Thomas doesn't get much.
The problem with going to the running game on second and long is that you've played right into the hands of this Washington defense. And this defense has been so balanced. They're so good against the run, and they're so good against the pass because of their blitz game, that once you're in this situation here, you're in real trouble. I mean, you know, right now it's 3rd and long. and you know they're going to come and they're going to blitz Jonathan Quinn. They're going to try to blitz him from a place that they haven't blitzed before to surprise him.
Beating the 41. Here comes a corner blitz. Gets it off out to Bobby Wade, and Wade hit by Fred Smoot.
I'll tell you what.
And that's going to be it.
Fred Smoot is just laying down some wood. I mean, he is hammered. He looks like he may have hurt himself on that hit. And that would be a shame for Washington. Now here comes the blitz. It's going to come from Quinn's left. It's a cornerback. And it comes late, but it does come. And then here's Smoot on that hit. And he just lays out Bobby Wade.
And so it's another 3 and out. 3 on 3 possessions so far as Brad Maynard makes up for that last wicked punt. Forces Morton into another fair catch at the 21.
You know what the Washington defense is going to do. Like I said, you know they're going to blitz you. You just don't know where they're going to blitz you from. And we talked at the beginning of this game, Kurt, and I think it's really a credit to the defensive staff and Greg Williams and how well they're able to come with blitzes, even with backup players.
Well, they may have another backup in the game if Fred Smoot doesn't get any better anytime soon, as they continue to work on him on the sidelines. We want to remind you that later today, Fox Sports' month-long journey of some of sports' greatest moments continues. It's Game 4 of the NLCS between the Cardinals and Astros, and then Game 4 of the ALCS between the Yankees and Red Sox. It all begins after football at 4 o'clock Eastern right here on Fox. There's Clinton Portis looking strong again with a gain of 8.
When I asked yesterday, I asked Portis and Gibbs and Brunell and Corey Raymer, the center, what about a change? You know, I mean, this run game really isn't working that well. Portis was so successful in Denver with the quick hitting plays. And to a man, they reminded me, this is an offensive strategy that Joe Gibbs won 3 championships with. And when they break it down on film, they feel they're inches away from making it work. They're making it work today.
Portis again. Door shut that time. Brian Urlacher along with Todd Johnson in there.
Kurt, I took a look at some film this week on Clinton Portis, and if you go back to Denver and you look at, watch how he quick hits this hole here. It's just instant. There's the window. He's through it quickly. He runs and scores. Now, this play here, watch Portis. It's a slower developing play. This is the counter play that Washington runs. And you see there, he gets behind his blocker. So it's a different kind of offense. But on that play there, even the new kind of run play worked for him.
3rd and about a yard. They bring in Udell Betts on 3rd down. Over the middle, caught by Lavernius Coles. And Coles out to the midfield stripe. A nice gain of 19 yards and a 1st down.
I'll tell you, if you think that this offense is a conservative offense, there goes that theory right there. Because 3rd and 1, and they've been running the ball well, and they just drop back and throw it to Lavernius Coles. And Coles does a nice job in the middle there, and you know in a short yardage play, the defense is going to be committed to the line of scrimmage in the middle of the field.
Officially a gain of 21 on the play, out to the 49-yard line of Chicago. Brunell going up, looking for Taylor Jacobson, overthrows him. And Brunell, so far in this game, 3 of his first 8 passing. And that's been one of the things. It's been about trying to find some consistency with the pass game so they can open it up with the run game and other things, because no one's really feared the passing game of the Redskins so far this season.
Right, and sometimes you just have to take those shots deep downfield. Unfortunately, I think Mark Brunell kind of hurried that shot, and it really wasn't a very accurate deep pass.
Changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
And then the defense changes too.
Little chess game going on, and wide open is Portis, who will pick up another Redskin 1st down. Lance Briggs on the tackle, but already we're seeing the Redskins do some things they haven't been able to do lately, which is simply pick up 1st downs, keep the chain moving, and keep the offense on the field.
Yeah, and there was an adjustment within the adjustment there. Washington came out, and it looked like pass, so Brian Urlacher changes the defense to a cover 2. So he changed it to cover 2 to defend against the pass. And then Brunell, instead of going for the deep pass right there to Thrash, goes to the underneath pass to Clinton Portis and picks up the first down. So Brunell makes the adjustment to Urlacher's adjustment.
Here's Portis. Portis with running room, finally caught by Todd Johnson, but a 19-yard run by Portis.
And now what's going to happen, I promise you what's happening right now is this offensive line and everyone in the Washington team is starting to say, here it is. It's working now. They made their blocks. Clinton Portis, all he needs is a little bit of a seam, and there he goes. Portis back on track. Offensive line back on track. Joe Gibbs' offensive game plan back on track.
He's already surpassed his total from the last 2 games. His 11th carry. Ran into Chris Samuels in the backfield. Fell forward for 2.
I mean, this is a defense that Lovie Smith has brought here to Chicago that really resembles the defense that you can see in Tampa Bay. They still do it in Tampa Bay. They still do it with Tony Dungy in Indianapolis. And it's a defense that tries to not give up the big play, and they rely on the defensive line to shut down the run.
End of the first quarter here at Soldier Field. The Redskins on top and marching. The Bears hoping their defense can stop them. Ready for the start of the second quarter here in Chicago. Kurt Menefee along with Tim Green, and the Redskins owning a 3-0 lead here early on a 41-yard field goal by Ola Kimron. Right now they've got the ball at the 19-yard line on second. Play fake. Brunell has all kinds of time.
Wide open.
And touchdown caught by Rod Gardner, and the Redskins get on the board with the field goal in the first, and the first play of the second quarter add to it.
Rod Gardner was wide open in the end zone. This is a total breakdown by the Bears on their coverage.
So Kimron will come on for the extra point. And he gets it through. And so the Redskins, off the arm of Brunell, take a lead early in the second quarter, 10-0 over the Bears here in Chicago.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford. 6 all-new vehicles, each built for the road ahead. By McDonald's. By Net Zero, access for all. Go to netzero.com. And by Dockers, pro-style shirt and pants that do it all.
Back in Chicago, and the Washington offense is back. Now they want to throw this ball to Chris Cooley underneath, but Gardner sneaks behind it. Watch, if you watch Mark Brunell, he's looking for Cooley, doesn't see him. Then he sees Gardner just wide open in the end zone. You see the total breakdown in coverage by the Bears secondary.
Certainly not the way you draw it up defensively on that, is it?
But now, you know, if you look at it from a Washington standpoint, Kurt, this is an offense that's just totally back on track against a defense that's played well this season.
Ball blown off the tee by the wind. That's the second time it's happened. So someone will have to come out and hold it.
I mean, here we are. It's you know, the second quarter has just begun. Clinton Portis has already got 62 yards, averaging 5.5 yards a carry, which is what, you know, very Clinton Portis-like. And Mark Brunell is finding receivers downfield, and his offensive line is giving him time to find them.
Well, not to play the leader of doom here, but the Redskins did have a 10-0 lead at halftime Sunday night against the Baltimore Ravens and wound up losing that game 17-10 on 2 back-to-back quick plays.
They did, but their offense, even though they had 10-0, they scored off defensive turnovers, and their offense looked pathetic even with that 10-0 lead.
Here's Jerry Azuma, his first kick return of the season. coming off that neck injury that forced him to miss the first 4 weeks. And Azuma brought down just across the 20. You are watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in 720p and Dolby 5.1, the world's finest high-definition standard.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on outside the lines here, you know. You just can't see it unless you've got the HD thing going.
And then when you do see it, it looks so pretty.
It does. I guess only about 2% of the people
in the entire country
have it. But
we're a network of the future.
There you go.
Someday everybody will be able to get it. Bears beginning at the 21. Here's Thomas Jones. Jones will pick up 3 yards. Jones has been a nice free agent pickup for this Bears team that, you know, went out there and didn't spend as much money as some other teams did, but feel like they got a better product.
Well, he's a hard runner. He's a straight ahead runner. And while they want to establish the run game here, especially on first down, one thing you have to understand, as you see Steven Edwards there, he's replacing Rubin. And Olin Kreutz at the center, he's got a bad elbow. And then Gandy, who's the right guard, he's got a bad hamstring. So the center of this Bears offensive line, where you want to do the most work, are all a little banged up.
Quinn, Bobby Wade, caught right at the 40-yard line. 19 yards and a Bears first down.
We said from the beginning of this game that John Quinn has all the tools, and this is the most difficult pass a lot of quarterbacks will tell you to throw. It's a deep out cut, and you see he delivers it on the mark, and he delivers it with great strength and accuracy. So John Quinn on that pass right there may have taken his first step of getting some confidence in his passing game.
The pitch to Thomas Jones. Boy, nowhere to run on that play. Jones stopped after a gain of a yard and nothing else.
I think, Kurt, this is such a difficult defense to run against anyway, but I think if you are going to run against them, you want to go right at them. And Jones is a straight-ahead runner, too, because when you go to the outside, they're really good at their speed, and Marcus Washington on that edge is dominant. I mean, he will dominate most tight ends in the National Football League physically, and he won't give you that outside corner.
The end around Bobby Wade, he's got nowhere to go, as Lamar Marshall sniffed that one out and had him trapped dead to rights in the backfield.
It was interesting talking with Greg Williams. You see Antonio Pierce there. He's one of the backup players, and we said, well, how do you get all these guys to play so hard all the time? And he said, right from the beginning, in the offseason, he said, we played everyone. We taught guys, whether they're first string, second string, third string, we taught everyone equally. We taught everyone the defense, and we conditioned them harder than they've ever been conditioned in their lives. So you see that. You see guys that are backup players doing the right things, and you see everyone running to the ball.
They need to get it to the 49 of Washington. It won't happen there. David Terrell was covered by Walt Harris, and Quinn just threw that one away.
And he took a step forward with the outcut to Wade, but he took a step back again with that throw right there to
In
Terrell.
his choice to receivers or the throw?
Well, you know,
because the receiver wasn't really open, was he?
Not extremely open, but you know, Terrell is a guy where you can throw it in there. He's a big guy. He can use his body to block the guy out. And Quinn has a strong enough arm. He just has to deliver that pass more accurately, and you've got a chance. That pass, you didn't even have a chance.
Chad Morton fighting the sun, and that one will bounce down inside the 5, where it'll be a nice job by this special teams unit of the Bears. Alfonso Marshall will pin the Redskins deep in their own territory, but Washington still holding on to the lead.
Back in Chicago, where the Bears are down 10-0, that's the bad news. The good news is they've got the Washington offense pinned, and I think Lovie Smith, who you saw right there, really needs, when you get an offense with their back to the goal line like this, I think it's time to try to come up with a big play on defense, to blitz, to put a lot of pressure on the opposing offense, especially when your offense is struggling.
Portis from the 2 picks up 3. Urlacher with the stop.
And the thing with Brian Urlacher, everyone was excited about him coming back. Of course, he tore his hamstring the very first day of training camp, and he's been out ever since. And the concern really with Urlacher was how would that hamstring hold up? Because you can run around in practice and even hit in practice, but game day, it's a whole nother level. It's a whole other level of intensity. So far, it's held up, and on that play, he made a nice tackle.
Yeah, played the first 2 games, got injured in practice the week before Minnesota, missed the last 2.
I'd look for a pressure blitz right here. I'd try to get guys in the Washington backfield.
And they do. Ian Scott wraps up Portis. Line of scrimmage at most. And this Bears defense doing exactly what you said they needed to.
Well, like I said, I think you need to come up with a big play. And what Lovie Smith does is he sends these linebackers. Watch them all. They come, and the safety, they all come. This is a run blitz. So they're blitzing gaps in the line of scrimmage. They all do a good job, fill up those gaps, and shut down Washington. Now, Kurt, I would say the same thing for this here. I would bring people on a blitz. Instead of go coverage in this situation, I try to keep the heat on Mark Brunell.
There's a flag for 12 men in and out of the huddle.
After this is the goal, still 3rd down.
The Redskins were running players in and out different packages, and you can't have 12 men there trying to confuse the defense. So it'll only back them up half the distance to the goal, which in this instance is only about 1.5 yards. But it still puts them deeper in their own territory, and they need the 12-yard line to convert.
And I think if you look at this graphic, Kurt, you see that blitzing for the Chicago defense, when they do it, the opposition only completes 40%. Now, they got burned on 1 touchdown, but they got 2 interceptions out of their blitzes as well.
Bears coming on the blitz. Liddell Betts trying to bounce it outside. He's going to be close.
I think he got it.
He did. Brian Urlacher finally made the stop, but it wasn't soon enough as the Redskins get out of the hole and pick up the first.
I think this is an unusual, but it turns out to be a brilliant play. And really, Chris Samuels is the guy who gets it. He gets the corner. Watch the block he gets right here on Michael Haynes. He seals him. He gives Betts just enough to get to the corner, and they did come with the blitz up the middle, and therefore there weren't as many defenders to the outside. Good run by Betts, and even better block by Samuels.
Brenton Portis. Portis cuts it back up. Brian Urlacher with another tackle. And one thing we've seen Urlacher be so far is active in this game.
Well, we've tried to keep an eye on him, and you've seen him moving around. So far, that hamstring doesn't seem to give him any problem at all. Working through there, coming and making the sure tackle. The thing you have to realize about a hamstring, though, if you are going to re-injure it, you'll re-injure it usually on a long drive when you start to get fatigued.
Here's Portis on second. Once again, out to Los Angeles, and Jeannie Zelasco for another game break. Jeannie?
The Meadowlands, Tim Rattay got some room to move, but look at Brandon Lloyd. Wide open on 3rd and 9. It's the first touchdown in the first quarter for the Niners this season out at Foxborough, the land of the unbeaten for good reason. Tom Brady, 6 yards to David Patton, 17-0 win.
That's surprising only because the Patriots don't blow out a lot of people. And a week ago, Seattle had the #1 defense in the league before collapsing against St. Louis, and they continue to struggle.
Well, I think the Boston area could use a little pump up after the Red Sox the past few days, huh?
They definitely could. Brunell, that one thrown behind Taylor Jacobs, who would have had enough for the first down, but instead it's going to be a punting situation for the Redskins.
Well, and Tank Johnson, you know, put the tank. Watch him right here. Tank Johnson, he puts the pop on Brunell. He works up through, and Brunell takes a shot after he gets that pass off, and he sees Big Tank right in his face. It looked like he might have hit helmet to helmet and gotten away with one, because usually they're going to throw the flag on that.
Here's Tom Tupa. It's a high kick. R.W. McQuarters takes the fair catch right across the 45. So it'll be good starting field position on this drive as the Bears try and get something going down 10.
Oh, a physical game all the way around. You see Marcus Washington, Desmond Clark here. It's even physical out there, Kurt, for the officials.
Yeah, that's the umpire, Garth DeFelice. No flag on the play even.
No flag. And I think you have to credit that Bears defense. You look at the defensive line here, Agunlier, and there's Tommy Harris, the rookie first-round pick. Those guys did a good job of keeping Washington pinned down, forcing them to punt, and then giving their offense some good field position. So the blitz didn't work every time for them, but it worked enough to get the ball back with good field position.
And the offense is going to give some of that away, looks like. Movement on the left side of the line.
And it looked like both Edwards and Kasim Mitchell jumped.
Offense, or 79. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, you talked about the Bears trying to get something going. Simply holding on to the ball would help. You take a look at the difference between these two teams so far in this game and what they've done.
Yeah, and the Bears haven't been able to open up a lot of holes in the running game. And you know, not having Reuben Brown in there, who's been a Pro Bowler and was playing like a Pro Bowler at the left guard position, I think really is showing.
They hand it off to Thomas Jones. Jones going to run it back out. Gain of 6 on the play. Lamar Marshall with the tackle.
And there's a guy who's a great example of a backup guy. He's LeVar Arrington's backup, Lamar Marshall. But he's at the right place at the right time. He played discipline, and he came in. He made a very nice tackle. And this is a guy who's really been more of a special teams type player. But going back to what Greg Williams told us, we trained every one of our guys in this defense all offseason, all training camp. He said he modeled it after a Bill Belichick thing, which is to make every player a starter on something, involve every player in one aspect of the game to give them pride in the defense.
Quinn lost that one up, and that was out of bounds. He just too lazily throwing that one to Thomas Jones.
Well, you know, if you pull back and you say, well, what can you do if you're the Chicago Bears, right? I mean, you've lost Rex Grossman for the season, and you've got Quinn as your backup, and they brought him as a backup because he studied under Terry Shea for 2 years in Kansas City. So he knows the offense, and then behind him, you've got a rookie. So that's the thing that really makes it tough, because Craig Krenzel is a rookie who knows it well on the chalkboard, but I think would be in an even worse situation than Quinn.
A long third down, they need the 44. That one bobbled, incomplete. Desmond Clark, the intended receiver, and Marcus Washington timed it perfectly.
I'm going to credit that to Marcus Washington more than I'm going to say that wasn't a good play by Desmond Clark. Now, so Quinn finds the receiver, he delivers the ball, and this is where the Washington defense is so good. They're always in the right spot, as Washington is here. He's got man covered, so he stays over the top, he times it, bang, knocks that ball right out of there.
He's in the right spot with some help. Antonio Pierce physically telling him, get over there. Here's Brad Maynard. Morton battling, just gets out of the way. There's a flag. Some contact may have been made as Alfonso Marshall was right in his face when he tried to catch it after signaling for the fair catch.
The ball is moved down at the Washington 21. The punt covered 32 yards. However, there is a flag on the leg.
Fair catch interference. Kicking team, number 22. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's exactly what it is. Marshall getting too close, and so it'll give the Redskins a little better field position as we are midway through the second. So after the penalty, the Redskins will get the ball at the 32-yard line. Clinton Portis having a nice day so far, his best day in about a month.
Yellow 40! Yellow 40!
He'll get the carry again. Cuts it back, and this is a Portis-type run as he's still on his feet out across midfield.
Oh, boy. You know, you have to be happy for Clinton Portis.
He's a little slow getting up after the 19-yard pickup. Yeah, this doesn't look good right now. We talked about the day he's having 89 yards on 16 carries, including 19 there, but the last thing they need is for him to be on his back, not on his feet.
And he's been under such pressure, and he's been criticized so much. I admire the way he said he was going to stick with this offense. The offense stuck with him. Hopefully, he's not hurt too badly. Clinton Portis on the bench. They're checking out his neck. Now, on that play, he got hit first by Alex Brown. If you watch Brown's hand, his hand's going to hit him in the head. And then Idonije, number 71, comes down, and then he hits him in the back of the head again. So it's kind of a double shot there with his neck getting twisted and hit.
And he did get up and walk over to the sideline.
Yes.
Appears to be okay, just shaking up, maybe a stinger there. We'll find out. But he does pick up the first down in Bear territory. Liddell Betts picks up another. Betts with a nice run of 15 yards. Jerry Azuma on the tackle.
And Betts made the same kind of cutback that Clinton Portis did on the last play for a first down. So the flow of the offense going one way, the line going one way, and he sets him up, and then he makes just a quick cutback. The Bears are going to have to stop that cutback if they want to stop this Washington offense.
And that's what the Redskins were so effective at in Week 1 against Tampa. There's Betts. That Week 1 game was the only victory the Redskins have had so far this season, riding a 4-game losing streak right now, but so much of it was because they ran the ball so well.
Well, but I thought it was interesting talking to Joe Gibbs, and he pointed out that while they won in Week 1 and they lost in Weeks 2 and 3, even though they lost in 2 and 3, the run game was still averaging about 4 yards a carry. So their run game was working for the first 3 weeks, and then it was just awful for the last 2 weeks.
3 receivers in on second. Brunel. That one may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. Lance Briggs, I believe, got a hand in there on that.
You know, this is one thing about coverage as a linebacker. When you're underneath here, you have to, it's called a buzz. You have to drop to the underneath part of that pattern right there, and Briggs drops, and then he gets his hand up and leaps, and that's nice pass defense right there by Briggs.
Good second-year linebacker for the Bears. Made such a big impact last season in his rookie year, and has kind of been a leader with Urlacher being out somewhat this season up until today. Skins meet the 25. Brunel's arm hit, and that's intercepted. Jerry Azuma with the pick. Azuma down the sideline. He's got speed, and Jerry Azuma will go all the way for the touchdown. Azuma's first game of the season has been out with a neck injury. Takes the pick 70 yards and puts the Bears on the board.
And Alex Brown, who's been giving the Washington offensive line trouble all day, is the guy who makes this happen. Watch Brown come in from the right there. Again, being blocked by Chris Samuels. Look at that by Brown. That's just beautiful. Outstanding rush, and then he times it up and gets the tip on that pass. You couldn't have it drop into a better guy's hands than Jerry Azuma, right?
Maybe the fastest guy on their defense is Paul Ettinger, gets the extra point. And just what you said the Bears needed. A big play from their defense as Azuma comes through in his 2004 debut.
We've talked all game long about the Bears being able to get pressure on the quarterback with just 4 defensive linemen. They rush forward, they don't blitz. And there it is right there. The big tip by Alex Brown, and then Jerry Azuma, who's back in a zone coverage because they're only rushing 4 guys. So they've got 7 guys back in a zone, is able to play pass defense while looking back at the ball and the quarterback. So when that ball is tipped, he can react to it immediately and then go get some air.
Look at that. 5 returns for touchdowns allowed this season, by far the most in the National Football League. And, you know, you can get your offense running all you want. If you're going to let the other team score without putting their offense on the field, it's going to be hard to win football games, as Chad Morton fights the sun for that one. Brought down to the 31-yard line. Fox NFL Sunday continues next week. In game 1 of our doubleheader, you'll see the Bears take on the Bucks, the Eagles versus the Browns, the Rams against the Dolphins, or the Falcons against the Chiefs. Game 2, It's Bill Parcells' Cowboys taking on Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers. That's all. Next Sunday, right here on Fox.
Remember, Mark Brunell told us yesterday that we just have to avoid turnovers. They wanted to get the confidence back in this offensive system, and I think they've done that. They've run the ball effectively. The passing game has worked to an extent, but they've not been able to eliminate that turnover. And now the Bears are back in it.
And Ladell Betts is still in there, running back, replacing Clinton Portis. They fake it. Brunell wide open is Lavernius Coles, and that's just a horrible throw.
Yeah,
now he's battling the winds, which are swirling down there in this defense, but it should have been a lot better than that.
And Kurt, that's the second deep pass, the opportunity. The other one was to Taylor Jacobs that Mark Brunell's had, and he's had time too. He's got good protection from his offensive line here. He's got time to step through and make that throw, and it's really a poor throw. That has been the criticism of Mark Brunell this season, is his inability to hit those deep strikes to his wide receivers.
Shorter pass, zipped in and caught by Coles. Going to be right out near that first down marker. Todd McMillan on the tackle.
That's big for them. I mean, I think to come back after missing that deep pass and come back with a quick slant, quick pass, Brunell just drills it right in there. I think, again, you know, that kind of makes you forget. It gives you a little amnesia on the missed opportunity there with Coles open.
Now, continuing the theme of giving it away, that's including the touchdown today, 48 points off their 13 turnovers. And there's Coles shaking up, and right now the Redskins with Lavernius Coles on the sideline and Clinton Portis still out. They did pick up the first. Well, Portis is back in there. So his first play back in the ball game, he'll pick up 4 yards before Lance Briggs made the tackle.
And Clinton Portis has really reemerged today as the kind of runner that caused Washington to go out in the offseason with a blockbuster deal, trade Champ Bailey, $50 million contract.
You have to say it twice, right?
I like to say that, you know. And then today he is just exploded.
He's back on the field. So is Lavernius Coles on second down. That one batted in the air by Briggs, and it falls incomplete.
Hey, that's the second pass that Briggs has batted. We saw Alex Brown bat one.
They've gotten a lot of hands on Brunell's passes.
Well, that's what happens, Kurt, when you play a zone type of defense. Here's Briggs right here, and again, he's going to start his drop. He sees that it's pass. He drops into the front of the zone right there, and he jumps up. So he's underneath the pattern because he's playing the zone.
And the Soldier Field crowd starts to get into it, hoping this defense can stop the Redskins before they get to the 47 of Chicago. Almost picked off by McQuarters. Ladell Betts, the intended receiver, and he was clearly overthrown, and McQuarters was that close to picking it off.
Well, in the chess game within the football game, Kurt, Washington wasn't able to get a lot of receivers out because they were worried about Alex Brown, who gave him such trouble there. So you see there end up being 3 guys who ultimately each get a shot on Alex Brown to keep him out of Brunell's face. And with less receivers in the pattern, that enables the defensive backs.
There's a block on that kick, deflected, and he's picked up by R.W. McQuarters. Cameron Worrell got in there and got a piece of it before Tupa could get it off cleanly. They'll wind up with 26 yards on the punt after the deflection.
I'll tell you, the way their Bears defense is playing in special teams, you almost think they ought to come out on offense with their defensive guys.
Go 3 and out, maybe, let them put it back on the field. You see Worrell get that one.
That's what I mean. Their offense, they've not made anything happen today at all. But their special teams, this block punt here gives them some good field position, and the defense with the interception for the touchdown and a near interception on that third down play.
Quinn out to Bobby Wade. Wade lost it after catching it and never had complete possession, and that's going to be ruled an incompletion. And Wade may be lucky on that one.
You really have to be impressed with how quickly this Washington defense reacts to the football, and that's part of conditioning.
The challenge right now is the Redskins had all the momentum. They've lost the momentum. The question is, can the Bears take advantage of it and get some momentum themselves?
Yeah, and they're not in a good situation now because, again, they're in 2nd and 10 again.
That one batted. This has been like a Bulls-Wizards game.
Yeah.
Lots of block shots all over the place.
I think that might have been Cornelius Griffin, who Washington got another big free agent acquisition. They got, here's Cornelius right here. Powerful, plays with good leverage. That's excellent. Because when it's a 3-step drop like that and you're a defensive lineman, you're never going to get there. So when you read a 3-step drop, you're taught to pull up and then jump and get your hands up. Here's where, again, where Washington likes to blitz. It's almost a guarantee that they're going to blitz somebody on 3rd and long.
Bears needed to get it to the 37. Quinn. Short pass. Thomas Jones from the backfield. Has room, but not enough.
Griffin.
He's stopped by Cornelius Griffin, and the big defensive tackle makes a first down saving stop.
That's a beautiful play. And I've talked all game long about a defense hustling, right? And watch Griffin on this. He just hustles right across the field here. Once he reads this, here he goes. He sees it, makes a swim move. He's not worried about resting or watching. He's running downfield to make the play.
Flags go off before the snap.
Ball start. Offense, number 26. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Todd McMillan called for taking off too early, and you see Maynard's numbers for the day. It's never good when you're in the 2nd quarter and this is the 6th punt from your punter. He gets it off. Morton backed way up inside the 20. Good kick by Maynard. Flags go down as Morton's pushed out of bounds.
Well, Kurt, if John Quinn was looking for his tight end on that last play, there's a good reason for why he didn't find him. We'll show you after this call.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Kicking receiving team, number 21. 10-yard penalty, first down.
We've talked all afternoon about Marcus Washington and what he can do. There's Quinn. You saw Quinn looking to the left before he throws back on the screen to the right. Watch Washington right here. What he does to Desmond Clark. That's actually...
He treats him like he's an umpire.
Yeah, that's actually illegal contact.
After the 53-yard kick and the penalty, they're back inside the 10. Nowhere to run as the door is shut quickly on Clinton Portis.
Thought it was interesting talking with Clinton Portis last night. And I said, you know, with all the frustration and the offense, the run game really not working for you, did you ever have the temptation to just run the ball? And he said, yeah, I just try to run it, don't run the play. It doesn't work.
Bears call the timeout, so each team with 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half.
Now, Kurt, I was rushed a little bit with the commercial break, but the thing about Clinton Portis that I was trying to say is that instead of trying to improvise and just make things happen, which is a temptation when you know he's got the skill, he was determined to follow his blockers, to read the play, according to Joe Gibbs.
Tried to follow his blockers there. They didn't give him a whole lot of room.
No, but that's not a bad run. I mean,
it's still positive yards.
Yeah, that's a 4-yard carry. And you know, right now, Portis is very close to 100 yards.
And the Bears will use their second timeout here in the first half. 2:23 left to go. Still a 3-point game. Well, Joe Gibbs hoping to get something right here before halftime, give his team the momentum that they seem to have lost. They led it 10-0, gave up an interception for a touchdown. Right now it's 10-7. And Clinton Portis, who's got 19 carries for 99 yards in this game, is on the sideline right now with 2:23 to go in the first half. The pitch to Betts. Liddell Betts gets past Nathan Basher. Brian Urlacher stops him, but Betts picked up the first down.
Well, they took advantage of Alex Brown, who we've seen Alex Brown hurt Washington's offense today with his aggressive upfield pass rush. So watch him here. He gets so aggressive and so focused on the pass rush that he misses Betts, and Betts picks up the first down.
2-minute warning here at Soldier Field. It's a 10-7 Redskin lead. Tim, final 2 minutes of the first half, ball on your own 25. This is normally the part of the game where you see pass to get downfield, try to get points. But you look at Brunel today, 35% completion. Will they try it?
Well, they're coming out with a spread formation right now, Kurt, but one thing you have to understand, Chicago's offense has done almost nothing. The only way Chicago scored is defensively on a turnover. So you can't, if you're Joe Gibbs right now, you're saying the only reason that we don't have a 10-point lead is because we tried to go with the pass and it cost us. So yeah, maybe conservative, but remember, this is a guy right here who's won 3 championships, who described the situation as miserable, and his team is desperate for a win today. So if you're desperate for a win, I think you play it safe. I think you go ahead, because again, the Bears offense has totaled about what, 30-40 yards of total offense. 42
to be exact, and this appears to be what the Redskins are doing as they let Portis carry it on first down and again on second. And the last time he just got up, wasted a lot of time, let the clock run, go back in the huddle. And it looked like the Bears are going to force them to at least stop the clock one more time here. Use their final timeout of the first half. But as you said, right now, with Portis being over 100 yards rushing, it seems as though the Redskins are comfortable enough with the ground game to say, let's just hold on to it, not try and do too much, not go out and throw another interception, and not lead at halftime. Now keep in mind the Visa halftime report with all the scores and highlights from around the league. Plus our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats, and it's all coming your way. 1:09 on the game clock from now on the Visa halftime report.
Well, I'll say this about Washington's strategy and not going with a 2-minute offense. That may work against the Chicago Bears because Lovie Smith was out without his starting quarterback, and their backup is still struggling. But you're not going to be able to beat most teams in the National Football League without some kind of a passing game, without a deep passing game to stretch defenses and to answer the score of the opponent. It's just that the Bears, their opponent today, offensively can't do anything.
There you see Clinton Portis over 100 yards already in the first half. Liddell Betts. Alex Brown, who's having a good game, chased him down from behind.
That's outstanding. We've seen him make some nice plays in the passing game. He's the guy who caused the interception for a touchdown. Watch him just race right around the corner here. That's just great speed for a defensive lineman. He sees the pullers. They pull the tight end. And the guard, he just gets in the tight end's hip pocket.
Forces another punt from Tupa. His 4th of the day. The last one was partially blocked. He's going to run as much clock as he possibly can and take the 5 yards and a little more distance.
Washington.
They got the timeout right before the play clock got down to 0. So the Redskins used their second timeout, and they won't lose the 5 yards, but They ran the clock, which was the most important thing.
And what you do there, Kurt, is not that it's a big deal, but if you're Tupi, you just say to the official, listen, when the play clock gets to 0, I want the timeout. So you don't have to sit there and, you know, worry and get your hand right in front of his face for
and
the timeout.
He doesn't see it.
Right. That way you prevent punting from 5 yards further back.
There's Jonathan Quinn, who struggled once again struggled the first half against Philly. Today, 4 of 12 for 27 yards in the passing department, not getting anything going so far. And he's hoping that R.W. McQuarters can give him some good field position as he's back to take this punt inside the 30. And they hand it off. Bobby Gray will take it. Lots of razzle-dazzle. Really only picked up about 2 or 3 yards from where he was when he handed off to Gray. So with 8 seconds left, I see if they take one shot with Quinn or if they just take a knee.
You know, I would take a shot. You have absolutely nothing to lose. And you know what I would do? I'd make a throw to Justin Gage. He's a guy who, you know, hasn't caught a lot of passes this season. And when we talked to Terry Shea yesterday, he said he wanted to get him more involved in the game plan. He's a guy who's made some big plays. He's got some leaping ability. He's got some speed. You know, what the heck? Take a shot. Would you?
Well, it's only 8 seconds left. Why wouldn't you?
Right? I mean, Quinn's got a strong arm. Drop back, take a shot.
And they don't. They hand it off to Thomas Jones.
So much for my
That's why
idea.
They're coaching, we're not, I guess. But wait, there's 1 second left on the clock. All right, now you have absolutely nothing to lose. If you throw an interception, and if you can't tackle him between that end and this end, then you've got issues other than your quarterback. There you see Gage. Not a lot of catches, only 2 all season long, and he was a guy who was their big play guy last year.
Well, they've tried to really be a running team and establish the run. So they've not been in a lot of 3 wide receiver formations, and he's the 3rd wide receiver.
There's Quinn. Thought about it and brought it down. He'll be forced out of bounds, and that'll be it. Washington took a 10-0 lead. Jerry Azuma with a 70-yard interception return for a touchdown. The Bears only score. And right now it's 10-7 at the break.
You can't script October. Behind a clutch performance by the Rocket, the Astros have new life. But the Cards are looking for a commanding lead in the series. And it was a record night for the Bronx Bombers. Now, the Red Sox need a win to stay alive against the Yankees. NLCS Game 4 today, then ALCS Game 4 tonight in HD on Fox.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
And the game after football will be baseball. The Astros have narrowed the gap 2-1, losing, that is, to the Cardinals. That'll be coming your way at 4 Eastern. That'll be followed by the Yankees trying to sweep the Red Sox. That'll be coming your way at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. Playoff baseball after football as we welcome you back to Gillette Stadium and the nice warm environment here just outside.
Behind us is going crazy.
Hey, Howard is the only one with the coat on right now. Let's get you caught up on the highlights at halftime as we take you around the league there. A couple of audiences joining us right now. We'll get you caught up on your action.
All right, get used to this name. Tim Rattay out of Louisiana Tech. Why? Because he is the next Joe Montana. That's why. 33-yard touchdown pass to Brendan Lloyd. And on the road, the 49ers are up 7-0 over the Jets. Kevin Barlow out of the eye, off tackle, runs it in. 14-3, 49ers Rattay with right at 200 yards passing in the first half. They lead the Jets, who are 4-0 on the season, 14-3. Moving on, Seattle and New England. That's where we are. Seattle hoping to get things going. But right off the bat, Hasselbeck's pass is tipped in the air by Richard Seymour, picked off by Willie McGinnis. That leads to a Corey Dillon 1-yard touchdown run. 7-0 it is New England. And then Hasselbeck picked off by Ty Law, led to a Vinatieri field goal, 10-0. Holy cow. Let's keep it going in the second quarter. Top left of your screen, corner is off. Quick hitch from Brady to Patton. 6-yard touchdown, 20-6. Seattle losing on the road to New England, hoping to take it to 20 straight wins. Carolina, Philadelphia, Donna McNabb hoping to keep it going, hoping to stay undefeated.
Whose voice is that?
They brung in Terrell Owens.
Brung him in, huh?
Terrell Owens beats Ricky Manning. Remember Ricky? Last year he had 3 interceptions. Well, that's no good. Dorsey Evans in from 1 yard out. Someone better get ready to hear this. But it's 13-0 Eagles all over the Panthers, avenging last year's loss in the championship game.
Who is that?
That's Brian Urlacher back with a pulled hamstring, missed a couple of games. But it's Brunell looking right, firing left in the corner. Rod Gardner, touchdown pass of 18 yards, 10-0 Redskins. Brunell back again, looking left, firing this ball, picked off by Jerry Azuma. He has not played all year, had a bad neck. He's back, playing the nickelback. That's the 5th back in a spread offense. Picks it off Howie, takes it 70 yards for a touchdown. 10-7 Skins over the Bears at the half, and I am out of time. Go ahead, Jay.
Green Bay on top 17-10. 2 first-half touchdown passes for Brett Favre, and the Jaguars of Byron Leftwich, who ran for a touchdown and passed for 1, up 14-10 in that one. And it is the Chargers. Don't be surprised anymore. 14-7 over the Falcons. Tennessee has never lost to the Texans. That's in 4 games. Texans on top 13-10. One of these winless teams will have a victory at the end of the day. Right now, the Miami Dolphins on top 10-7, and a good ball game here. Go ahead, TV.
I told you Miami would win a game this year.
You did say that.
Yes, I did say
you
that.
sure did. That was Roy, or was that Troy?
No, that's
who said
Roy.
that?
Roy.
All
Tell
right.
him, Roy.
New York Jets undefeated, looking ahead. Maybe is that why they're behind?
Well, they're playing New England next week, but I think more than anything else, we said it in a pregame show, they had an easy early schedule. And earlier on today, Terry, you said it. Tim Rattay, the great one from Louisiana Tech, we all laughed. Well, maybe we ought to stop laughing because he threw for 417 last week in the comeback win against Arizona. They're winning again today. This guy's got some talent. Dennis Erickson doing a nice job with him.
Well, and they've really played. They've been in every ball game with the exception of the one versus Seattle. But flipping over to Washington and Chicago, Portis back on track with over 100 yards. They've controlled the clock for over 20 minutes in the first half. The Chicago defense has been decimated. The only reason why they're even in this ball game is the Azuma interception for a touchdown. That's a big play. They haven't been getting those because they haven't had their football players on the field.
Howie Long with the wrap-up. Hey, we just want to acknowledge this large crowd here, led by Denise Murphy and her Yorkie Bailey, and all of her friends.
12-pound Yorkie.
12-pound Yorkie. Visa halftime continues right after
crowd
this.
here to watch us.
Where's Buttercup?
Buttercup.
Just about ready for the start of the second half here in Chicago, where the Bears trail the Redskins 10-7. I'm Kurt Menefee along with Tim Green. And Tim, you take a look at this first half. The Redskins told us this was a desperation game. Clinton Portis has played like it with 100 yards rushing, and their defense certainly has as well.
Well, Washington, they've gotten their run game back. They didn't have confidence offensively in anything, run game or pass game, coming into this game. They've got the confidence back in the run game, and with how well their defense is playing and with just how one-dimensional the Bears' offense is, they don't have to get their pass game going. They don't have to force that part of it yet, and I think you'll probably see Joe Gibbs just try to keep running the ball, pounding it out, keep that time of possession, and just win this one by a close one.
Right now, that time of possession way in favor of the Redskins. As we take a look at the halftime stats, you see 20.5 minutes versus only 9.5 for the Bears, which is why you look at the numbers for the Bears, and they don't look good.
Well, most of that rush yard was on the scramble with 1 second left to go. I mean, they've really been awful. And then if you look at turnovers, that's been the undoing of Washington. That undid them. They had the 10-0 lead in Baltimore on last Sunday night, and then it was turnovers, a punt return, and a turnover that led to their demise.
Well, during the halftime break, our Darrell Joyner had a chance to talk with the head coach of the Bears, Lovie Smith, about that offense.
What about on offense? You haven't done that much on offense. How can you get Thomas Jones more involved to get that offense going?
Well, we have to, we're a running football team right now. We need to just, do a better job of blocking and try to open up some holes to allow Thomas a chance to try to do that. It hurts a little bit that we don't have a passing game that can really kind of, beat up on us on the run a little bit right now.
So you'll sit with Jonathan Quinn in the second half?
We sure will.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
All right, and as you said, with Craig Krenzel, the 5th-round pick is his backup, who hasn't taken an NFL snap. There you see Krenzel right beside him. Right now, the Bears don't have a lot of places to go at quarterback.
No, they don't. And so they're going to stay with Quinn, and they're going to hope that that they can hit a pass here or there. And as Lovey said, I'm sure they're going to try to re-establish or establish a run game.
Chad Morton with the kickoff return. Keep in mind,
and solid, and the Bears have done that. They've played solid, and they came up with that one big play. I think they're going to have to come up with more big plays and big turnovers if they're going to have a chance to win this game.
Clinton Portis hit at the line of scrimmage, still fighting, and Portis picks up a tough 6 yards after Mike Green had him stopped initially for no gain. Well, the Washington Redskins, I mean, this is a quarter that you should keep your eye on. They've been a team that you see the first quarter outscoring opponents, even in the second, but they've lost games in the third quarter after having leads in 4 of the 5 first halves they've played. And there's an injured player down on the field right now. Adewale Ogunleye. I knew I was going to get it.
It's tough.
Adewale Ogunleye, the pass rushing specialist for the Bears, is down right now.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Second down for the Redskins after Ogunleye limped off. Clinton Portis with the carry. Alex Brown stops him right near that first down marker.
Well, we'll take a look at what happens to Ogunleye. He actually gets stepped on by Clinton Portis. And Portis has got tacklers on him right there in the backfield. Watch right here. There it is. You see that? He steps right on his foot and just torques the ankle, and Portis keeps going. Third and short. Last time Washington was in this third and short, they went with a nice pass to Coles.
This time they hand it off. Portis hitting the backfield. Alex Brown once again with a big play for this Bears defense.
Well, Alex Brown has just come off this corner all game long and been extremely disruptive. He comes unblocked, and that's not working for them. That's a scheme that you can oftentimes get away with, just turning that defensive end free and thinking that it's a quick hitting play and he can't get to it. But Brown has gotten to it several times.
So Tom Tupa comes on again. McQuarters inside the 20. Be brought down at about the 21, maybe the 22-yard line. And we'll get a look at Jonathan Quinn and the Bears offense for the first time in the second half. It's sweet home Chicago for a lot of people, but a lot of tourists in this town as well, checking out the sculpture at Millennium Plaza and Millennium Park.
I mean, a big dollop of mercury.
You got one of those on your mantle, don't you? Jonathan Quinn taking over at the 22. Quinn 4 for 12 for 27 yards in the first half. Comes out throwing, looking deep here. He's got David Terrell, and it's incomplete. Terrell had a step on Sean Taylor.
Well, Terrell had to slow down just a bit for this pass. Sean Taylor, the first-round pick by Washington, is able to come over the top. This is Taylor's play to make. You see how Terrell had to slow down there?
Looking for the flag, won't get it.
Well, Washington is playing 2 safeties deep, which is a really good pass defense.
Bears go back to the running game, and Thomas Jones will pick up 3 yards on the run.
I mean, that's the disrespect or the disregard right now that they have for Chicago's running game, Kurt. is dropping both safeties back and basically playing the run with their 7 up front guys, the linebackers and the defensive linemen.
Well, here we are, and it's the first series of the third quarter, but the Bears have put up 72 total yards, and as you mentioned, 20 of those came on that run right at the end of the first half with no time on the clock.
And this is the blitzing down again.
And here they come. Quinn stays in the pocket, gets Bobby Wade open, but throws that one short as well. And they had opportunities on that possession, but Quinn couldn't make the connection.
Yeah, he's just not on. We've only seen him on with his passes only a couple of times today. It's a good job by Thomas Jones with the blitz pickup, so he actually has some time and he's got the arm strength. And he was actually throwing a comeback to Bobby Wade. See, because there's coverage over the top here, so he can't throw it deep. So he's got to throw the comeback, but he threw the comeback too short.
Brad Maynard to Chad Morton, and that one will go out of bounds. Penalty marker down on the play as well.
Maynard's penalty ruled out of bounds. Redskins 38.
During the kick, holding. Receiving team number 45. 10-yard penalty. Washington keeps the ball. First down.
Mike Sellers, the guilty party on that one. 12-11 mark here in the third quarter. Washington still holding on to the edge. Today's game being seen around the world on Armed Forces Television. We want to send our best wishes to the men and women of the 415th Base Support Battalion in Kaiserslautern, Germany. And appropriate that a game they're watching has been something of a defensive struggle, I guess. Brunell gets rid of that one after being pressured.
And we see the Bears doing what worked for them when they had Washington backed up early in the first half, playing aggressive defense here. Their offense is not working. Here comes Mike Green. There he comes clean on the blitz and gets the pressure on Mark Brunell instantly, and he's got to throw it away. And I think if I'm Lovie Smith, I'm going to want to do more of that. I'm going to want to play more pressure defense, try to force Brunell and Washington into turning the ball over again.
On second down, Brunell gets it out to Gardner, and Rod Gardner's only going to pick up 2 yards on that play. There's Mike Green with the tackle.
And that time they came with a little pressure by Lance Briggs up the center. Washington blocked it pretty well, but still the passing game for Washington, nothing to put fear into the heart of a defense.
So 6 of 18 for 84 yards.
Yep. And
for Brunell so far.
He did have the one big one to Gardner in the end zone where Gardner was wide open.
And he also had the one big one to Azuma, who took it back for the touchdown. They need the 38 for the first. Wow. Well, just a bit outside, as Bob Uecker would say. That one wasn't even close.
Well, Mark Brunell just is not on today. You know, he's made a couple passes, but you can't say that he's on. I mean, that ball looked like it just flat got away from him. I mean, he was throwing it to Betts, and Betts was actually open, but it looked like it just left his hand early.
Low kick, McQuarters will watch it go out of bounds. And it'll be good field position considering ball spotted at the 25-yard line.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By Singular Wireless. By Campbell's Chunky Chili, mouth-watering chili that's worthy of any tailgate party. And by the personal financial advisors of American Express.
A beautiful day in Chicago as the Bears have had an ugly offense so far. Their longest drive of the afternoon right before halftime. 2 plays, 27 yards. 26 of that came on a meaningless run with no time on the clock. They had one 5-play drive, but only gained 19 in the yards department. They hand it off. Thomas Jones. Jones will pick up 6.
And that was a good play for Chicago because you could hear Washington calling out run alert. They knew it was going to be a run play because of the formation and the motion that they had. Chicago was still able to pick up 7 yards, and that's what they're going to have to do, Kurt. They're going to have to somehow rely on their offensive line. There you hear the run alert call again.
And they run it again. Thomas Jones still going and picks up a first down for the Bears. There is a penalty flag down late.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 83. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So even that doesn't go right as David Terrell called for the penalty.
Now David Terrell comes in from the outside, and he's supposed to crack block on a safety. And he did. He does block him right from behind. You'll see Terrell come in from the outside here. Right there. And he blocks a safety right from behind. So just when the Bears got their run game, you know, fired up a little bit, it's sent back because of a penalty.
And instead of a first down, it's 2nd and long. They hand it off to Thomas Jones. Jones with a nice 10-yard run before being tripped up by Ronaldo Wynn.
Yeah, that was a really nice run by Jones, and he put a move on Demetric Evans. And we talked about Jones earlier being an inside runner. This time on the draw, he breaks this to the outside. And watch him put the move right there on Demetric Jones that gets him to the outside, and then another move on Fred Smoot. This is where you'd think that they would spread out with 3 wides, but run or go with a wide receiver screen.
They need the 35-yard line. Bobby Wade, that pass was thrown too high, and Sean Springs closed the gap.
That's pretty good defense by Sean Springs.
Stopped him from getting the first down.
Listen, nice hit. Of course, as a defensive back, that's your dream, you know, because Bobby Wade has got his back to you and he catches the ball and he just barely has time to turn around before you're on him. That's like a free shot.
Springs took advantage of it. Another flag.
False start. Offense, number 26. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
That's twice we've seen that on Todd McMillan on punts. He's anxious to get downfield, isn't he?
Well, when you're the gunner out there, a lot of times as he's lining up right now, you've got 2 guys on you. Their job is to beat you up the whole way down. They pull the double team off, and then they put the double team back on.
Maynard gets that one off. And it bounces out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it. Oh, the punt fest continues when we come back to Chicago. Midway through the 3rd quarter. No, the Monsters of the Midway would be proud of this game, I guess. Only 1 touchdown for each team. And the Bears' touchdown came on defense as Jerry Azuma took an interception 70 yards back to counter what then was a 10-0 lead, and it's been 10-7 ever since. Brent Portis over 100 yards for only the 2nd time in his young Redskin career already. Picks up 6 yards on that run before Mike Green made the tackle.
And Kurt, we were talking at the break there a few moments ago and just saying the Chicago Bears defense sooner or later you think is going to start to wear down, because what their offense is doing or what their offense is not doing, it wears on you physically by the amount of time you got to be out on the field, and it wears on you mentally because it's extremely discouraging.
Portis wrapped up Tommy Harris, the 1st-round pick, brings him down for a loss. But we gain a little more information from Jeannie Zelasco with a game break.
In the third, here come the 5-0 Jets. Lamont Jordan, 17 yards to the score, 14-9. Guess what? Jets decide to go for two. It does not work. Still 14-9.
Lamont Jordan sighting. Jets trying to take a little bit of pressure off Curtis Martin, who's one of the top guys as far as number of carries in the league so far this year. Big third down. Redskins need the 39. Lavernius Coles gets it.
Well, Mark Brunell gets nice protection from his offensive line. He's able to sit there in the pocket. Lavernius Coles runs a nice pattern. And while Mark Brunell has struggled throwing the ball deep downfield, you see the protection right there. His best passes today have come from those shorter intermediate timing passes across the middle.
Here's a blitz. Brunell does have the time, now flushed out. Brunell picks up a couple of yards before scrambling out of bounds. And if you think Mark Brunell's the same guy who ran crazy back in the mid-90s, think again. At his age, and especially he's got a bad hamstring, he's not the same quarterback anymore.
Well, I love when we spoke to Joe Gibbs last night, and he said, well, you know, when Mark's hamstring, when that hamstring's better, he's going to be running a lot more. And then we talked to Brunell, said, how's the hamstring? He said, it's good. He said, so you're going to be running more? He said, heck no. Can't run around the way I used to, is what he said, right?
Yeah. Didn't look like it there either. Here's Quentin Portis.
You see Washington just trying to pound away at that defense, keep them out there. Bears rolling defensive linemen on and off the field, trying to keep guys fresh, trying to keep the momentum going, the enthusiasm up. It's tough when your offense goes 3 and out.
Is it harder mentally or physically?
It's harder mentally. Mentally is where it gets you, because you just start to lose your edge when your offense can't move the football at all.
Needing the 48 of Chicago. There's pressure again, and Brunell gets away this time. Just throws it out of bounds. There is a flag down. Alex Brown was close to getting him. May have been pulled down by one of the linemen.
Holding. Offense, number 52. Penalties decline. 4th down.
And he was by the center, Corey Raymer. They'll decline that, of course, and force the Redskins into another punt.
Curry, you mentioned Alex Brown, and you say, well, why aren't the Redskins doing something? They do. They actually use the tight end and Samuels. There's 2 blockers on him. He works through both of them to get the pressure on Mark Brunell. Alex Brown is having a huge day today.
Monster game.
Making plays in the pass game and the run game as well. Big plays, too.
8th punt of the day for Tom Tupa. 8. He averages 7 a game, which is more than any other guy in the league, and he's been busier than normal this afternoon. McQuarters. Nice move. Caught from behind, dropped down right at the 20-yard line by Adi Jamo. And Alex Brown, you talk about the game he's had, it's been pretty in pictures, I guess.
Well, it's been all game long. He started there. You see the pressure from the outside. That was the pass he batted. Jerry Azuma picked it off, ran for a touchdown. There was a big play right there, tackling Betts behind the line of scrimmage. Big 3rd down play there where he stops Portis. So he has had a monster day today.
And put pressure on at times as well. Not just the tackle and the deflections, but coming relentlessly from around the corner.
And as I said on that last play, Kurt did it when they had 2 blockers on him. They had a tight end and a tackle blocking. One of their best tackles, and one of their best players, too, and Chris Samuels.
Bears looking for something offensively. Thomas Jones, strong run up the middle. Best of the day as he picks up 17 yards.
This is a nice, quick-hitting play, and if you're Washington, you're going to rely on rookie Sean Taylor to come in here as a safety and come in and fill this hole. And you see Sean Taylor comes in, and he takes the block, and between he and Ryan Clark, they're not able to fill this hole. A nice block by Brian Johnson, too, the fullback for the Bears.
Jones again. Thomas Jones will pick up 5. And he's the guy they're going to try and climb on his back to see if they can't get something going, since they're having trouble passing the football today.
Well, they started to get the run game going a little bit on that last drive, but then, you know, confounded themselves with penalties. There's Terry Shea, the offensive coordinator. I think that's what they're going to have to do, is just stick with this run. Tuck them in behind Brian Johnson, the fullback.
Jones again. Lowers his head, won't get much. About 1.5 yards on the play.
Yeah, and the guy right at the center of it, Marcus Washington. We've seen him play extremely well today, and when we watched film, we saw him play extremely well on film as well. Interesting guy too, not, you know, kind of a cerebral guy. Likes movies.
Well, you said that because
books.
he reads books and you write books.
You gotta like a defensive player who reads books, Kurt.
You're like a defensive player who can read books.
There you go.
I don't really believe that, but I just had to say something to get you going.
Washington going with 3 down linemen here. It's a 3-3.
Here's Jones on 3rd down. Scoots through and gets the first.
I think that was a good call, and everybody's getting excited because they finally got a 1st down.
Well, why not? They had 2 first downs the entire game until this drive. They've got 2 on this possession.
Well, I like this call because Washington comes with the 3-3. They only play 3 defensive linemen. They want to do a blitz, right? There they are, 1, 2, and 3. And so you can be pretty assured to control the line of scrimmage when you've got 5 offensive linemen blocking just 3 defensive linemen.
Jones. He had nowhere to run on that play. Got right to the line of scrimmage, and Cornelius Griffin was there.
Well, this is the number 3 defense in the National Football League. And the thing that's really impressive when you look at them statistically is they're very good against the pass, and they're also very good against the run. And the best defense in the league against the run, because they're number 1 in rush average. And I think that's the best way to measure a defense. So a lot of defenses, if they're good against the pass, they're not as good against the run, and vice versa. These guys are good at both.
Thomas Jones springs it outside. Jones, a little stiff arm on Ryan Clark, who forced him out of bounds, but another good run by Jones. Is for the first time all day, the Bears have some offensive momentum. They pick up 8 yards on that one.
And that's another play, Kurt, where Sean Taylor, the rookie 1st-round pick for Washington, came up. He's got to support the run from the safety position, and he misses this play. Jones puts a move on him to the outside. He misjudges it and misses it.
Another 3rd down situation. This time it's 3rd and short. They need the 41, pardon me. Play fake. Quinn under pressure.
Oh.
Caught from behind by Sean Taylor.
He made up for the missed tackle on that one. Man, did he come fast. Wow. And Quinn was actually getting away. Taylor launched himself like Superman. Watch Taylor come from the outside and just race right after Quinn. Watch him launch right there. He launches himself to bring him down.
And that's what they expect out of him. His 1st NFL sack, 5th overall pick out of the University of Miami. Some say maybe the best defensive back to come out since Ronnie Lott.
Well, he's physically enormous for that position, and he's fast, and he's a hard hitter.
Maynard puts that one in the end zone. Let's see what's on the mind of Jeannie Salasco out in Los Angeles with another game break.
Oh, so many things. We got baseball this afternoon, and right now we got the Packers doing their best impersonation of a team that isn't 1-4, offensively and defensively. Darren Sharper, right place, right time to pick a Joy Harrington. The return, 36 yards for the score. Najee Davenport, 7 more points on the board. 31-10 Green Bay.
You kind of had a feeling the Packers have never lost 4 games in a row under Brett Favre.
I actually picked Green Bay in our pool.
We don't. You mean the pool for nickels?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I did the same thing because for that reason. I mean, not that Green Bay is as good as they've been in the past.
Right.
But they've lost 3 in a row, and they've never lost 4 in a row under Favre. And I believe some guys have that aura that can lift the team, and he's one of them.
And they always play well against Detroit, too.
Oh, yeah. Clinton Portis playing well today. There he goes. Being chased by Urlacher, who got him. And a flag. It may have been a face mask as well, as Portis is still down.
And remember, he hurt his neck earlier, and I'll bet that hurt the neck again. I don't mean hurt injury, you know, can't play anymore, but hurt pain. Boy, you get to see the speed of Brian Urlacher, though, right? There's the cutback run that's hurt the Bears defense today. Yeah, see, clearly a face mask.
Yeah.
Face mask.
Portis is running off right now. And I guarantee you.
Automatic first down.
That's going to be the 15-yard variety. And maybe this is a little payback. These two met last year when Portis was in Denver. Watch what he does to Urlacher. Head-to-head knocks him out. We saw Urlacher that next week. He said he was a little woozy for the first time in his life on the football field and had to be escorted off. Now, once again, I don't think he did it on purpose as payback.
No.
But certainly grabbing the face masks, maybe some semblance of revenge.
Well, and I think, too, that that might not have hurt Portis if he hadn't hurt his neck already.
22 yards on the run, 15 more on the penalty. Gets him all the way out to the 44-yard line where Liddell Betts picks up 1 more.
And you saw Hunter Hillenmeyer, who filled in for Urlacher. He's now playing outside linebacker, and he made that tackle behind the line of scrimmage. And again, Kurt, we said several times today that for the Chicago Bears, the best thing that's happened for them today in this football game has been their defense when they've played aggressively, and they need to continue to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage to try to come up with big plays.
Well, Bears defense has been on the field a lot. Clinton Portis has made a lot of runs. He's got 141 yards on the ground as we head into the final quarter here in Chicago with the Bears and the Redskins still going at it. 10-7, Washington on top. Fourth quarter here at Soldier Field. Kurt Menefee along with Tim Green, and the Redskins jumped out to a 10-0 lead. The Bears got a defensive touchdown to make it 10-7. That's where it was at halftime. That's where it is as we begin the final period of regulation.
It's been a defensive battle, but the one offensive weapon that has worked today, Clinton Portis.
141 yards rushing so far, and he tries to add to that total. We'll pick up 2 more. Well, this has been a rough afternoon for both offenses, but in particular Chicago. Look at the difference in time of possession. Only 4 first downs against 7 3-and-outs.
Yeah, and as we said, that has a cumulative effect on the defense. And I think you have to really give a lot of credit to the Chicago defense, which Kurt actually has gotten better as this game has gone on.
And the Redskins haven't been able to put them away like it looked like they were going to, up 10-0.
This is where Brunell struggled on 3rd and long.
He needs the 33. No one to throw to, pulls it down. Brunell diving forward.
Yeah, he saw Urlacher coming.
And he saw that first down marker, said, I'm going to get there, and that's it.
He said, I am not going to take a shot from Brian Urlacher. And I wouldn't either if I were him. Well, this is what Joe Gibbs talked about. He said when Brunell's hamstring's better and his hamstring's better, he said, he's going to run and make things happen. He ran, and he got down quick. Right? He wasn't...
Oh, he didn't hesitate.
Urlacher was 5 yards away from him, and he said, no, there's the first down. Good job by him.
Gets the first for the Redskins. Ball at the 32. The pitch out to Portis.
Oh, boy.
That's trouble. Hunter Hillenmeyer slowed him down. Finally tackled by Bobby Gray right about the 15.
Kurt Hillenmeyer was on a run blitz. This is the perfect play to run against a run blitz where the outside linebacker's crashing from the corner. Watch him. He crashes down, and they just go to the quick flick to Clinton Portis. He's outside of it already. So he's got plenty of running room.
Still 17 yards on the run as the Redskins have it first down at the 15. DePortis again. Get back to the line of scrimmage. Bobby Gray on the tackle once again.
Boy, Gray on the tackle and Lance Brigg in the backfield. So the Bears, you know, and when we talked to the Bears defensively, they felt that they had a good feel for Washington's running game, and they felt like they knew what plays were going to be coming, or they could at least get a quick read based on what they saw.
It's DePortis. Not much there as he picks up about another yard, but that's his 32nd carry, which is the most he's had this season. Had 29 in that season opener against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you know they're using it to just churn and churn and churn and churn. Little bit by little bit. I mean, not that it's been little for him with 161 yards on the ground, but they're taking it and just running the ball, letting the clock work.
And he's up to that 5.2 average, which is much better than the 3.6 average on the season he had coming into today's game.
He's out right now. Liddell Betts comes in. Brunell sprinting out. Won't get the first down this time. Nathan Vasher got in his way.
You could see Brunell just trying to keep that defense at bay with the you know, the pump action. But again, Kurt, this isn't a situation where Washington is desperate to score a touchdown, because if you go back to that graphic, think about that graphic we just showed, 7 3-and-outs for the Bears offense. They've just
against only 4 first downs. I mean, they haven't sustained a drive all day long.
It's just been horribly ugly for them, and it's because they've not had a passing game at all. Jonathan Quinn is only 4 for 14 passes today and 27 yards.
Here's Ola Cameron, who had a 41-yarder, replacing the injured John Hall today. And he gets that one through from 26 out and extends the lead to 6 points. Redskins holding on 13-7 in the fourth.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. By State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Capital One, what's in your wallet? And by Budweiser. Enjoy a cold, fresh Budweiser, because fresh beer tastes better.
Jerry Azuma trying to get the crowd pumped up. He's got the only touchdown for the Bears on an interception return, and he's back deep. Remember, he made the Pro Bowl last year as a kick returner.
Lovie Smith told us yesterday he wanted to save Azuma for defense and not have him return kicks, but they need him.
From the 4. He's going to return it out across the 25-yard line. And the Bears offense will try it once again. Still in this game. It's only a 6-point difference. Well, coming up next, Fox Sports' month-long journey of some of the greatest moments in sports history continues with Game 4 of the NLCS between the Cardinals and the Astros. That's at 4 o'clock Eastern. Then it's Game 4 of the ALCS between the Yankees and Red Sox. The drama continues next in Fox Sports High Definition, only on Fox.
Red Sox hanging by a thread.
Yankees going for the sweep tonight in Boston. Here's Thomas Jones. Dance is out for a nice pickup of 2 yards. And, you know, right now Thomas Jones has 84 yards rushing, another 8 receiving, so he's got 92 yards of the Bears' 126 of the day. He's at that point where, you know, he's about 75% of their offense right now.
Yeah, he is. And he's normally about half of the offense between running the ball and also as a receiver. And today we've not seen him as a receiver or anyone as a receiver for this Bears offense. Jonathan Quinn has been off all day long.
Quinn 5 of 15, 28 yards. And his arm was hit as he threw that one and pulled it down, decided to run, and was leveled by Antonio Pierce, but he got enough for the first down.
You know, that may be the best thing we've seen Jonathan Quinn do today, Kurt, is pull the ball down and run. Took a shot, though, didn't he?
Well, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he is. Big, strong guy.
6'6", 230 pounds. Tallest quarterback in the National Football League right now. Got him to first. Out to the 37.
Now you would think it'd be back to the run game.
They fake it. Out of the backfield, Jones with running room. Out across midfield. And the Bears pick up another first down.
Nice play. That's the next best thing to a run.
And there's Fred Smoot, who left the game, remember, earlier with a shoulder injury, holding his shoulder on the sideline right now.
Yeah, he looks like he is in extreme pain. He put a hit. He actually used his shoulder when he hit Thomas Jones.
So he's out right now. The former Bear #1 pick, Walt Harris, replaces him. After the 14-yard run, it's a first down at the 49. Thomas Jones will pick up 4 more. See if we can see exactly what happened to Fred Smoot.
Yeah, you're going to see him watch. He lowers his shoulder, his right shoulder there, and Thomas Jones puts his shoulder. They go shoulder to shoulder. And Thomas Jones is, I mean, he is just like a walking muscle. Strong, strong man.
You can see Smoot still down on the sideline.
Let's go him, Zach.
Jones again. Jones.
Wow.
Another first down for the Bears.
Well, Thomas Jones has been the best thing, the only thing about this Bears defense today. And you see just slashing right up through the Washington defense. He's really best on these quick hitting plays, but you've also seen him break to the outside and make some big gains to the outside, Kurt. And as you said, hey, this is a 6-point game. And if Chicago can just come up with a play, come up with a score.
Washington's dominated as far as time of possession. But the Bears are still right there as Thomas Jones follows the block of Brian Johnson.
I think the other thing that's got to be hanging in the back of the Washington players' minds is the way they've seen some of their leads this season disappear. A lot of their halftime leads, as you pointed out earlier, 4 out of 5 games they were leading at halftime. They won 1 of those, but the other 3 they lost.
Including last Sunday night, 10-0 lead against the Baltimore Ravens, and wound up losing that game 17-10. They had a 10-0 lead today, and are right now trying to hold on. Empty backfield for Quinn. Here comes the blitz. And he lost that one up for Thomas Jones. Penalty flags go downfield as Ryan Clark and Sean Springs were there on the coverage. That's against the Redskins.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 24. Slide foul. Automatic. First down.
Sean Springs, the veteran who came over from the Seahawks, being called.
Springs right over the top of Thomas Jones. You wouldn't expect him to draw a pass interference. There it is right there, though.
Pass interference against the running back as well.
Yeah, and the ball must have been in the air when he hit him to get the pass interference. Otherwise, it would just have been illegal contact.
First down at the 25. Thomas Jones threw a hole. It closed quickly. Cornelius Griffin stopped him after a short 2-yard gain.
Well, that was excellent reaction by Cornelius Griffin. He went from pass rush mode to just closing that hole down, and Marcus Washington was on the other side of that hole. Thomas Jones had to be thinking pay dirt here. Look how big the hole is, and then look how quickly the 2 defenders close it. It's great reaction.
Jones been busy on this drive, and
Griffin again.
That time by Griffin behind the line of scrimmage.
Now, we've seen Cornelius Griffin on numerous occasions in this game and other games getting penetration. He's a big, powerful man, but he gets penetration to the other side of the line of scrimmage, to make these kind of plays for losses. And probably the single biggest factor in the success that Washington has had in stopping the run this season.
Key third down for the Bears. Flared out to Bobby Wade. Once again, Fred Smoot, but once again, Smoot hurts himself.
I'll tell you.
It's that same shoulder, and he's done it twice on that same play, making the same tackle.
That is such a gutsy play by Smoot. Watch Smoot he actually slips on this. He slips and recovers, and then just gives himself up to knock Bobby Wade out. And you can see the pain that Fred Smoot is feeling from that hit. I mean, how courageous is that? That's what it means to play in the National Football League, to do things to your body that other people just are unwilling to do.
And so it will bring Paul Edinger on for the field goal attempt. This will be a 46-yard try, and Edinger gets it through for the 100th field goal of his career. And more importantly for the Bears, it makes it a 3-point game once again with just over 5 minutes left in regulation.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Saturn. People first.
Well, Tim, they haven't exactly roasted the Hogs yet, but this Bears team still in this ball game. It's 13-10 with 5 minutes left, and every time you look at it, it seems like the Redskins have the ball, but they can't put the Bears away.
Well, it's been a defensive battle, right? I mean, we've seen a lot of defensive football today, and the Bears scored the only touchdown for their team. They've limited Washington's offense here in the second half. And now's the time to see if they can shut down Washington again. And you got to believe Washington is going to come out with Clinton Portis running hard.
Right now, this Bears defense with 5:03 left to play, trying to find a way to get the Redskins offense off the field, give their offense one more chance to tie this game, if not win it.
Yeah, while conventional wisdom tells you Washington's going to want to run the football and put it in Clinton Portis' hands, I think if Washington's going to really climb out of this 1-4 thing and really make something happen this season, they're going to have to also get some plays from Mark Brunell.
Well, he hands it off to Portis, and right away, Ian Scott makes the tackle. Advantage Bears on that one.
And this is where I think, again, Kurt, I think you gotta let Brunell now on second and long try to make some plays and maybe roll him out. Watch Ian Scott. He just comes with a quick swim move, and he does a nice job of working down the line and picking up Portis just as Portis hesitates, looking for a place to cut.
Well, Brunell's only completed 8 passes all day for 95 yards.
I know it. But, this is crunch time. This is where Washington's either got to, win this game or not win this game. And I think Brunell's got to make a throw. He's got to make a play.
Portis on the handoff, and he won't get much once again. We need to check in with Jeannie Zelasco for another game break.
We're going to the Meadowlands. 5-0 Jets. Do I hear 6-0? Here they come. Curtis Martin 1 yard in for the touchdown. Jets go for 2-point conversion. Same result. This time pass incomplete, but they do lead. Red Sox hoping for a different result today. LCS doubleheader coming up next on Fox.
On third down, this Bears crowd getting into it, knowing that the Redskins have to get it to the 44 for the first. And there's movement on the right side by Ray Brown. 19-year veteran.
They drew him off. Michael Haynes.
Ball start. Offense. Number 67. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
About the last guy on that line you'd expect to take off early. Brown in his 19th year at the age of 41 and playing at tackle right now when he's really been a guard his whole career, most of his career.
Right, and I think he saw Lance Briggs and Urlacher was coming up too. He saw those linebackers coming up on the line, knew he needed to get a deep set on Haynes and still try to protect the inside from the blitzing linebacker, and that's what made him jump.
Third and long became even longer. Brunell gonna scramble and didn't get it.
See that?
R.W. McQuarters slowed him up, and then Tommy Harris knocked him out of bounds. Brunell comes up limping.
Yeah, and with third and that far to go, I think that's one where Mark Brunell needed to really just hang on to that ball, use his legs, but use his legs to buy more time behind the line of scrimmage and try to find an open receiver. Good coverage downfield by the Bears. I think that's one where he probably needed to take a third look downfield, Kurt.
And we said it was a big defensive series for the Bears. They came up, forced a 3-and-out situation, and now the Redskins will punt with 3:31 left to go. High kick. McQuarters at the 10. Good return. Out near the 45-yard line. Great starting field position for the Bears with just over 3 minutes left to go. All 3 of their timeouts and down by 3 points.
Boy, and the important thing about that return, Kurt, is they don't have their passing game working. But with R.W. McQuarters shortening the field this much, and with 3 minutes left and their timeouts left, they don't have to pass. They can still run Thomas Jones, which they did so effectively on the last drive.
Perfect time for a 35-yard return by McQuarters. Thomas Jones keeps pushing the pile, but Jones will pick up 2 yards on the run.
And that's more kind of representative of what the Washington defense has done this season against the run. Chicago, though, racking up more yards on the ground than any other team so far against Washington this season. The other thing about the run, Kurt, is when the run works, it does set up the play action pass.
Quinn, that one batted down.
Brandon
Noble, who's played most of this game for Joe Salavea, who's out with an injured calf, knocks that one down.
And Noble, just one of those tough, you know, really kind of a hog-like player. I know hogs are offensive linemen in the old days of Washington, but he's got that kind of mentality, just a tough guy, grunt in there, not a big pass rusher, more of a run stopper. Didn't get far upfield, but got that hand up.
Saw him before the game. He says he can't believe last year, this time he was rehabbing a severe knee injury. Never thought he'd make it back this far, and look at where he is today.
And again, this is blitz time for Washington.
They come.
And they got him.
Sean Springs wraps him up. Bad time to take a sack. And that's exactly what happens.
Jonathan Quinn told us on Friday that this defense blitzes people from places you never expected, you've never seen. Watch Springs, he's going to come right from the top of the screen. There he comes. I mean, how many times do you see a cover cornerback coming on a blitz? They didn't expect it, and no one picked him up.
So the defense did what the Bears needed to do. The Redskins defense doing what they needed them to do. Here's Chad Morton. A big-time block laid out for him, but Morton going to be backed up down to the 10-yard line, and that's where the Redskins will take over. They have 2 minutes, 1 second left on the game clock to try and run as much of it as they possibly can. Of course, the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. Each team has all 3 timeouts, and right now, the last thing the Redskins are thinking about is stopping this clock.
Well, you have to credit Washington's defense for that 3-and-out series right there, Kurt, because they stopped the run on first down, stopped it on second down, and then they were in the 3rd and long situation, and that's what Greg Williams loves, right? He loves a chance to bring an exotic blitz, something that the offense hasn't seen. That time, he brought it with Sean Springs, and he came clean.
They'll officially start with the ball on the 12-yard line. Quentin Portis keeps on fighting.
Wow.
Picks up 8, maybe 9 yards, but it'll take us to the 2-minute warning with the Redskins looking to hold on to the ball and hold on to the lead.
Fox NFL Sundays brought to you by SBC. Going beyond the call.
Big run play for Washington.
Clinton Portis right up the middle here. Watch where he gets hit. He gets hit right there. He's on the 15-yard line, and then he drags and grinds through the defenders for 5 more yards and shows off his muscles.
You know, he has out-muscled this Bears defense so far today for 172 yards rushing. He'll not add to it on that play. As he's going to be dropped for a loss of a yard, and the Bears will use a timeout.
He ran into TNT, didn't he?
Tommy Harris and Tank Johnson, the 2 rookies, first and second round picks, calling themselves TNT.
You want to talk about 2 young players with a tremendous upside of talent. Just massive men, strong, quick.
And they're like Abbott and Costello when you get the 2 of them together.
Great personality.
One straight guy. Tommy Harris plays the straight guy. And Tank Johnson is the joker. But when you listen, it's actually Harris that's playing all the jokes usually, you know?
Well, he had you going. Tommy Harris had you thinking that he did modeling for
exactly.
Ebony Magazine.
He told me he was a model and because his teeth are pretty and his skin is smooth, you know?
Well, they need a big play from him now. This Bears defense has been big today. They've come up with the big plays. Portis has had a day on the ground, but at key times, the Bears have kept this Chicago team in the game.
Play fake. Brunell caught in the backfield. Nowhere to run. Hunter Hillenmeyer gets it. And this Bears defense comes up big once again, despite the 9-yard run on first down. They stop Portis for negative on second and then drop Brunell for negative on third.
Hillenmeyer comes up from the top. Remember, Clinton Portis beat him to the outside on a play earlier. This time Brunell tries to beat him to the outside on the naked bootleg play. Hillenmeyer zeroes in on him and brings him down.
And Hillenmeyer is a second-year guy who got an opportunity when Urlacher was out injured, played middle linebacker, and played it so well that they decided to make him the starting strong side linebacker in place of Joe Odom so they could try and keep Hillenmeyer on the field with Urlacher and Briggs. And their defense comes up big again. Last time R.W. McQuarters was back to take a punt after a big defensive stand. He returned it 35 yards. We'll see what he'll do this time. Here's Tom Tupa, just outside his end zone. McQuarters at the 38. Flags go down.
That's going to hurt him badly.
He's dropped to the 45, but as you said, after the penalty, it's going to back him up more. Todd Franz on the tackle. Most likely a holding call.
During the return, holding. Receiving team number 26. 10-yard penalty. Chicago keeps the ball. First down.
And that's on Todd McMillan. That's the 3rd special teams penalty of the day on McMillan. And you can see he's got James Thrash right by the jersey. They're going to call that every time. They'll back it up 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So after the penalty, the Bears will take over.
And with only 1 timeout and no under the 2-minute warning, they need something out of their passing game, and they've gotten almost nothing out of their passing game all day long.
Starting at the 35, they've got 2 timeouts to work with. Quinn out of the shotgun, where he appeared to be more effective in this 2-minute drill in the game against Philadelphia.
Well, he went to the underneath passes against Philadelphia.
Hit as he throws, but completes it out to Berrien, and Bernard Berrien gets out to the 41. Quinn showing a calmness about him. He gets him up and gets the ball off. Under pressure again. Out to David Terrell, who gets to the midfield stripe and a step beyond it, but it's another first down for the Bears. Andy got out of bounds to stop the clock.
No, Kurt, right now, Jonathan Quinn doesn't have time to think. He's just got to throw. And that's been his problem all day, and I think against Philadelphia, when he thinks, he gets tightened up and his throws are not accurate. Right now, he's just playing.
You see Paul Edinger getting set. His career long is 54 yards. So they need to get it to about the 36 or 37. Here's a blitz. Quinn stays in the pocket, brings it down, and will take a sack. Antonio Pierce and Cornelius Griffin there.
And Marcus Washington as well. And you have to credit the coverage downfield, too, because that blitz took some time to get there. But Quinn didn't find a receiver downfield.
And the Bears will use a timeout. But this is where the inexperience shows a bit.
So here comes the blitz. They come from the top side. And Quinn, actually, the Bears line does a pretty good job of giving him time. But there's nothing open downfield.
But he's got to find a way to throw that ball away in this situation.
Yes.
Knowing you need to get within field goal range.
And you can't take the sack for the loss of yards, and you can't take the sack also for the loss of the timeout.
Because the clock continues unless you call the timeout, which the Bears did. That's their final timeout. So 2nd and 17. 4 wide receivers in for Chicago. They pick up the blitz for a while. Griffin again, along with Marcus Washington.
Yeah. How about the different looks that this Washington defense gives the Bears offense? I mean, they're just guys shifting and moving and blitzing and rushing and covering.
Quinn on 3rd down. Gets it out on the sideline. Justin Gage makes the catch at the 46. But Cornelius Griffin, back-to-back sacks, really making a difference on this possession.
Go back to the sack. Kurt, just watch all the activity here. Look at guys coming up, back, forth. One guy switches up. That's not it. That's a 4-man rush on the last play.
That wasn't the sack. That was the last play, but this is a 4th down. They need the 39-yard line in order to have a shot. Here's another blitz. Quinn steps up, and it's intercepted. Sean Taylor with his first NFL interception. And Taylor still running, finally tackled by Steve Edwards. No flags on the play, and that'll be enough to end the Bears' hopes. So Quinn will finish the day 10 of 21 for 65 yards in that interception. And he took some bad sacks in an inopportune time for the Bears.
Well, Washington came with the blitz again, but Quinn had protection. Just made an errant throw, and Taylor did a great job of getting underneath in that underneath part of the zone and just picking that ball off.
Yeah, it was 4th and a mile, but part of the reason it was 4th and a mile were the back-to-back sacks. And Taylor, in this 4th quarter, got his first NFL sack, got his first NFL interception, and salted away this victory for the Redskins, who'll snap a 4-game losing streak and go to 2-4 on the season. The Bears will drop to 1-4, and Mark Brunell told us before the game this was a desperation game for his Washington ball club. Well, desperation won out, and Joe Gibbs gets his 2nd victory on his comeback tour.
Well, they certainly reestablished their run game with Clinton Portis today, 171 yards on 36 carries. And their defense did what they've done all season long, Kirk, coming up Washington's with the big plays from the blitzes in the time when they needed it most.
13-10 our final here in Chicago. We'll be back to wrap things up from Soldier Field right after this word from your local Fox station. Well, let's check out our UPS leaderboard. And on a day, well, neither quarterback threw for 100 yards. It was all about the run, and Clinton Portis 171 yards for the Redskins. UPS delivers a chance to win the ultimate home football experience. Just log on to foxsports.com. What Brown can do for you. Our final score is Chicago. The Redskins win at 13-10. For Tim Green and Dyrol Joyner, I'm Kurt Menefee. You've been watching Fox Sports and the National Football League. For more, here's JP from...
Week 6 of NFL Primetime. Big plays, big hits. Would the Patriots streak hit 20 or Seattle for real? T.O. and the Eagles take the field for perfection and revenge, while the Jets get a surprise test in the Meadowlands. Jacksonville against KC, just the way they like it. Down with under 2 minutes to go. AFC East battle of the winless. Dolphins, Bills. One of them gets off the schneid. Michael Vick's back scrambling. Brett Favre's back to doing what he does best. And what's better, a tuna or a Roethlisberger? NFL Primetime. Next.
Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
And hello once again, everybody. Welcome to Week 6 of NFL Primetime. Chris Berman with Tom Jackson. And, well, these teams that are really good are really
good. Yes, really good.
And what did we talk about this morning? Knowing how to finish, huh?
That's right. And we saw a lot of that from some young players knowing how to finish games.
And some teams that have been good at it for a long time.
That's correct.
Well, with the election coming up, of course, Ohio is one of those battlegrounds for votes between President Bush and Senator Kerry. Let's go to the football battleground, if you will, in the state of Ohio. Carson Palmer and the Bengals against Jeff Garcia and the Cleveland Browns. First quarter scoreless. This is Kyle Larson. Oh, how good is that punt? Woo. Down to the 1. Oh, so Cleveland's in big trouble. They'll never get out. They're going to hand it. Oh, no, they're not. Jeff Garcia, Andre Davis, and he could go all the way. 99 yards, the 10th time there's been a 99-yard pass play in NFL history. This just in, Tom. You can't throw any longer than that.
Yeah, Delta O'Neal, up and bump and run, little stop and go by Andre Davis, and he's a former track star, so when he takes off, not many people going to catch him in this league.
A 99-yard hookup. Then Cleveland, Lee Suggs, oh, it's a fumble, and then whoop! And then it whoop! And then the Bengals whoop! Kevin Case-Beharn makes a case for Cincinnati, and it's 14-7. Now, since he scored 10 more than 17-14 until William Green. A lot more offense out of these squads than we might have thought, Tom. 2 minutes left in the half. Green, 8-yard run. And then just 7 seconds left in the half. Third and goal from the 5, Jeff Garcia. And that's just a clutch play. The clock winding down at the half.
Absolutely.
The teams that score at the end of the half, it's almost as big as scoring at the end of the game. And sometimes 21-17. Carson Palmer to Chad Johnson, who shipped Pepto-Bismol to 4 defensive backs of Cleveland, saying he'd give him an upset stomach. Well, he caught a few, but he dropped 4. That one can't fault him on. But Tom, he did not have his way today really with Cleveland.
Yeah, and Chad asked for the interference call against Anthony Henry. May have been warranted right there, but, you know, the referee only gets one look at it.
And here's what he told him. The one that coats is the only one you need. Then, Jeff Garcia. Lee Suggs, 59 yards. You know, a Cleveland back hasn't caught balls for 100 yards since Eric Metcalf. That's back in 1993, so the first time that's happened in 11 years. Jeff Garcia, after a riff with Coach Butch Davis, saying that Garcia was skittish, he should stay in the pocket. Well, despite a couple turnovers, 4 touchdown passes for a tough guy, Jeff Garcia. They went 34-17.
Yeah, and 46 carries for 139 yards, so I think that Butch Davis showed great balance with his squad. And all of those passes for the touchdowns, when you see Garcia making those throws, you may want him to stay in the pocket, but he's more comfortable outside the pocket, on the move, throwing the football. I'm always a believer in this. Let the quarterback do what he's comfortable doing. He's going to be best at that.
And the Bengals look like they're a far cry at this point from a team that made a surge last year under Marvin Lewis.
But you can't put this on Carson Palmer. You have to put this on. No, I know you're not, but you have to put this on the defense. Right now, they're not helping this young kid. You don't want to make a young quarterback pay for every mistake that he makes.
449 yards to 189. That
There
would
you
be
are.
They don't look like Marvin's defense at all. This might take a step back season before they go a couple steps forward. We're going to go forward with some teams that have been bouncing forward for a long time. New England at 4-0. Could they keep rolling against the Seattle Seahawks? The two other undefeated teams going into Week 6, Chad Pennington and the New York Jets. Would they be caught looking ahead in a donut game against San Francisco? Yeah, kind of. And the Philadelphia Eagles last year lost the title game to Carolina. This time, they had Carolina on their mind and in their house.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting, low-carb Miller Lite. And in part by Energizer. Keep going. Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Houston at Tennessee. Remember, they built the stadium in Nashville to woo the one-time Oilers. They're now division foes. The Texans 0-4 against Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans. McNair tipped ball out of the hands of Drew Bennett into the hands of Aaron Glenn. McNair struggling today. Don't believe me? Watch this. McNair, tip again, done to Robinson. Second pick for McNair very early. Now, next Titans possession. But he can also do this. Early second quarter, pump fake. On the move, Drew Bennett. Zing, touchdown, 10-3. 10-yard touchdown, 7-3 Tennessee. Next drive, it's David Carr. Boy, everybody on this team makes big catches, Tom. Not only Andre Johnson, this is Jabbar Gaffney. He had 5 for 85. McNair to Chris Brown, who's nailed right here by Jason Simmons.
Yeah, and look at the hit right on the side, right in the ribs, right on the arm, right on the shoulder. Hurt a number of things right there.
Had to leave. More on that in a moment. Then 13-10 in the fourth, McNair. Kylie Wong! McNair throwing it to the Wong guy. What a great play he made. And 3 picks now for Houston. 6 minutes to play in the fourth. Carr to Andre Johnson. Beats Samari Roll, 13 yards, first down. Carr, little flare out to Johnson. He beats Roll again. That sets up a Jonathan Wells run. And Houston is going into Tennessee leading 20-10. Can McNair rally them? Picked off in the end zone by Marcus.
Go, man.
And look at him run it out. Houston, you can see them grow leaps and bounds. They've never been 3-3. They've never beaten the Tennessee Titans. Just like the way they play hard every game. They got some good athletes at receiver. And Houston beats Tennessee 20-10. Tennessee a puzzler.
Yeah, and David Carr, look at the numbers, 16-26, 266. Yes, the touchdown and INT. So very careful with the football. And another team that ran the football an awful lot today. This is a game plan that the coach is very comfortable with.
Not the Tennessee team we saw at Lambeau Field. Chris Brown was a right shoulder burner, so it looks like probably good news for Tennessee. Chiefs with a week off after Dick Vermeil's squad won on the Monday night against Baltimore. And the Kansas City Chiefs. This is Trent Green. And look at the dump pass that he makes to Holmes if they were in big, big trouble. How does he get this off? And Jack Del Rio, late in the game, challenging it, but they said no, the knee was not down.
What a great play by Trent Green. You know, clearly when you looked at it in slow motion, he got the ball off in time.
But the extra point is missed by Lawrence Tynes. So here's the situation. It's 16-14 Kansas City, but they're not up by 3. Byron Leftwich gets pressure from the Chiefs, goes down hard. Now, if you think back, he's done this before. When? November 2002, he was at Marshall. Injured his ankle when he's hit and rolling around in pain. And look what his teammates did. Remember this game, Tom? They literally picked him up, his lineman, and carried him down the field so they could end up going for the winning score. Come on here, big guy. You're coming with us. Tick, tick, tick. So you know that he's tough. All right? So in this game, now he's tough. And Leftwich shaken up. Pass broken up by Dexter McCleon after going for it 4th and 1. At the time, you wondered why Del Rio was gambling. But Tynes, remember, they cut Morton Anderson to keep the youngster Tynes. Misses a 42-yard field goal. It stays 16-14. So Jacksonville with one last chance. Leftwich to, not Jimmy Smith, Cortez Hankton. 12 yards. Tick, 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 under a minute. Leftwich to Ernest Wilford. Remember, he caught the winner week 1 at Buffalo in the last few seconds. Then, Leftwich, lob, Hankton, touchdown. Cortez Hankton's second year from Texas Southern. Then they went for 2 because up by 4 was a lob to Reggie Williams. So gimping, limping, once again. Byron Leftwich and the Jacksonville Jaguars win it late. They win by the count of 22-16. So now they're 4-2. And the Chiefs, who last year won 13 games, have fallen to 1-4. And Leftwich, 24-36 for almost 300 yards. And at times, they don't look the most cohesive squad. But I have a saying, and you know what it is. 1 is an accident, 2 is a trend, 3 or more is evidence. They've won all these games late. They cool and poised.
Well, 3 of those wins within the last 45 seconds, and all of them fairly late in the game. So you're talking about a team we talked about finishing this morning. And I think you see this young team growing up with this quarterback, Byron Leftwich, a defense that is certainly stout. And I think that their coach, again, we've got another coach who plays to that. Jack Del Rio understands, don't make a mistake. If we don't make mistakes offensively, we're going to have a chance to win, and has taught this young team to finish games.
You know what? I tell you what else I've noticed. This is a team. Okay, last week they ran out of gas a little bit. They went up to San Diego, and they had a bad game, as a young team is going to have. But whether they've won or lost, and they've won all these late games, they're playing hard, 60 minutes. Good things happen.
That's right.
Especially if you keep your head about
Stay focused, stay focused. And we forget Fred Taylor's touchdown. We forget how fast Fred Taylor really is when he gets out in the open field.
And meanwhile, Kansas City at 1-4, you know, with Denver playing well, Kansas City better not let them out of their sights. They know that. I know. They know that. It's a tough loss for the Chiefs, but wow, those Jaguars. When we return, well, someone's going to win this, aren't they? Dolphins, Bills, at least I think so. 0-9, these proud teams. How can this be? Well, Clinton Portis, we heard a lot from him in his opening carry this year, not much lately. Skins at Bears, a tight one.
Chevrolet Fantasy Ticker is brought to you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American Revolution.
Miami at Buffalo. I think about the 90s. I mean, every year at least one of them was in there. As a matter of fact, 4 of the years of the 90s, the 2 teams played against each other. Marino and Kelly and Shula and Marv Lee. You go on and on. Going into this game, the 2 teams were combined 0-9. What a nice birthday present it would have been for the owner, Ralph Wilson, 86 years young on this day if the Bills could win at home. Jay Fiedler from Dartmouth, starting after a cracked rib last week. Fiedler looking for Rob Conrad. Oh, boy. Takeo Spikes gone. Boy, the Dolphins just continue to turn it over time after time on a nasty day up in Buffalo. And they've allowed 4. Yeah, their defense, when you allow 4 picks the other way, it ain't their defense.
Yeah, and take a look at Spikes. He's just reading the quarterback's eyes right there, feels the fullback going out into the flat, Conrad, and just jumps on the football.
Well, Miami's kicked a field goal, and Bryant kicking today. Marais still hurt. Wes Welker just on the kick team. Fiedler over the middle of Darius Thompson. Dolphins, one of their rare leads all year. They led a little bit in that Bengals game, 10-7 at the half. Drew Bledsoe to Mark Campbell. Bills, now they're up by 7, 17-10. Late in the third, Miami first and goal at the 1. Sammy Morris had a good game against his ex-team, but not today. Suffered a loss. Then that's second down. Now here's third down. Fiedler is pressured, then sacked by Aaron Schobel, who had 2.5 on this day. And then Willis McGahee in his first start. Watch the thunder here. Oh, man! Blasts through the Dolphins and takes it deep. McGahee, 31-yard pickup, 111 yards rushing. And the Bills semicircle the wagons. They beat the Dolphins 20-13 in a sack patrol. The Dolphins never 0-6, right? Even in their expansion year in 1966, they won their 6th game. So, man, Buffalo up the schneid. Mike Mularkey, first win as a head coach.
Yeah, congratulations to Mike. And you see the 15 completions by Drew, but look who his main man was. It's Eric Moles, 5 receptions for almost half the yards that they threw for. That's the way they win football games. And McGahee, quite a debut as a starter.
And the Dolphins only 212 yards on offense. Another beautiful game for them offensively. Redskins, Bears. You know, if you're looking for a pinball wizard on the scoreboard, not this game. Brian Urlacher back after missing 2 games, although Clinton Portis had the mark on 19-yard runs. Here's a 19-yard carry. Portis 171 yards today. Mark Brunell has been struggling. Numbers not good today, but there's a nice touchdown play action to Rod Gardner. 10-0 Redskins. Late second quarter. Guess how much Portis is going to run for here, Tom? 19. 19 yards. He's shaken up, so he had to be deported for a while, but he would return. Then later in the drive, it's the Bears defense. The Mike Brown out for the year. This fella's been hurt for a few games, but Jerry Halls of Montezuma. The halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. From New Hampshire, Jerry Azuma, touchdown. Boy, we had that well choreographed. He's been out. 70-yard interception return, 10-7. So Jonathan Quinn, with Grossman gone, Quinn's the quarterback, and this is what he did to Bobby Wade. He's a tough character, but look at this. Wade is... Oh. Can you lead me a little? Sean Springs and Fred Smoot.
A lot of these throws not designed to actually go and get a first down. Guys getting hit absolutely as they catch the football, including Jonathan Quinn himself.
Sean Springs there, the former Seahawk on the sack. 1 for 13 Bears, 3rd down. Now it's 13-10. And at 4th and 15, the Bears still have a chance. Quinn's pet, Sean Taylor. Look at the size and the speed of this top draft pick. Whoop! And then whoop! And then whoop! Quinn, 10 of 22 for 65 in the pit. Joe Gibbs, one opening day. He wins Week 6. And the Redskins beat the Bears in a tight game. Again, not like the lamp for you. 13-10, Portis, 36 carries, 171 yards. He's done this before. Every run, 19 yards. When we return. Tom Brady, Patriots, record intact with 19. Now they're just going to keep week after week after week. Could they go 5-0 against the tough Seahawks? But there's a team in the same division who they'll actually play next week, the New York Football Jets. They had a chance to go 5-0 as well.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
The New York Jets at home against San Francisco, eyeing New England perhaps next week. Could this be a donut game? Looking ahead of the Niners. Remember, Tim Rattay set a club record for completions, 38 last week, in a big comeback against Arizona. And here it is. The Niners throwing. It's Brandon Lloyd. Touchdown. 7-0 San Francisco. Second quarter, Rattay play fake to Arnaz Battle. He battles of the bulges. He goes for a huge gain. Tackled inside the 5 by Reggie Tongue. 65-yard pickup. Kevin Barlow touchdown. A major surprise in the Meadowlands. 14-0. But the Jets have scored a touchdown. They go for 2, don't get it. It's 14-9. Curtis, my favorite, Mott. Stood up by Tony Parrish, but a first down inside the 10. Then Martin plowing in for the touchdown. 2-point conversion. Again, no good. 15-14 Jets. Later, the Niners, an end around to Arnaz Battle. He tries to battle his way after the fumble, but the Niners had a field goal range. 3rd and 16, and incomplete to Brandon Lloyd on this one. Lloyd looked like he wasn't aware.
We're going to see a couple of odd plays. Brandon Lloyd, ball coming about head high. He ducks to avoid the ball. Not exactly what you want from a wide receiver.
Under 2 minutes to go here. Rattay looking, picked off by Jonathan Vilma. Vilma!
We see Velma spot shadowed right there. This is the other odd play. He goes out to the flat, gets a perfect pass from Rattay. Perfect dump pass going the other way.
Uh-oh, the Brontosaurus burger wasn't the one that he wanted to throw. There, Martin, my favorite, Martin, plowing like a young man up the middle. And yes, 5 fingers. The Jets are 5-0. They've never been 5-0. Holy Weeb Eubank. And the Jets beat the 49ers 22-14. Curtis Martin in the game, 111 yards, now with 12,282 for his career. He passed Marcus Allen into 8th place all-time. Next up, the number that since kids, when we were kids, we knew what this number was, 12,312.
Yes.
That's Jim Brown.
I know where it is.
He's now 7, but 12-3. Curtis Martin is there, and the Jets have Martin. Martin looks like a young man, Tom.
Well, you know, we talked to Herm Edwards, and Herm will always tell you the most important cog in the machinery for the Jets is Curtis Martin, and he does a great job of a lot of things, and that leads us to our extra point tonight. And just watch the way he runs the ball, the patience with which he runs the ball. You get the double team down on the center, but look at the other 4 blocks. This is an outstanding offensive line. Gerald Sewell with the lead block does a great job. Curtis does of following him into the hole and making the cut off the block. Here you get the offside guard pulling. They're going to get to the 6th hole again. Great patience. Follows right behind his guard for tough yards inside. Now, blitz pickup. The idea, you have to be a great runner, but you also have to be able to block. He blocks 2 guys to give Chad Pennington a chance to get rid of the football. And then on the 4th play, just watch him here. They're going to get the end. Coming down with the double team. The kick out block is coming from the fullback. The offside guard coming across. And again, he walks in standing up. So you got a great back in terms of his knowledge of how to run the football. And here again he comes. Big hole, following the fullback, following the offside guard. So he does a great job of following his blocks, a great job of getting to the outside. You talked about the burst that he has, and he also is a great blocker for his quarterback. So he can do it all, and he's done it all for a long time.
Last year, the Jets began 0-4. This year, they're 5-0. So, I mean, this can happen.
Chad Pennington playing,
starting
Chad
all the
Pennington
way.
not playing.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That's a lot of it.
And the young defense, which can make mistakes, but they're so exuberant, you know, that they're so much faster than they were last year that they're covering up for some of those mistakes. They'll still make a few errors of commission, but not omission. That's right. Well, meanwhile, in the there's another team, though, that resides in that same division. It's called the New England Patriots. You might have heard of them. They haven't lost since September of 2003. They've won 19 straight games, and they're facing a team that only lost late last week for the first time, the Seattle Seahawks. That's our prime cut in a kickoff in Foxborough. So, can it be? You can't win 20 in a row, Tom, unless you win the first 19.
That's correct.
Which the Patriots have done. Tom Brady against Matt Hasselbeck, back in the Boston area for the first time, quarterback at BC. Pass tipped by Richard Seymour and intercepted by Willie McGinnis. 2 names that you certainly know. McGinnis brought down by that camera hanging over the field. And that sets up Corey Dillon. Was iffy, but before the game they said the foot okay to go. 7-0 New England. Next possession, a Ty Law interception of a Hasselbeck pass. Now 10-0 second, quick pass. David Patton from Brady. And he sheds Ken Lucas, 17-0 P-Man.
Yeah, and watch Patton here. What a simple play. I get the ball out to you. You stiff arm the corner. Get yourself into the end zone. They do a lot of the simple things, and they do them right.
Now it's a 20-9 game in the 4th quarter, and Tom Brady's going to run for the first down, but look out. Michael Boulware gets a shot, and the helmet goes flying, and you knew he was woozy. Although, he hung right in.
You know, he takes the hit, but you love the fact that he knew where the first down was, and he wanted to get it. He was willing to take a shot to get it. He didn't want to lose the football, but he was certainly willing to show his team, I'm tough enough to go and get that play.
That's the ear guard.
That's the ear guard out of his helmet.
What? Next Patriots possession. Brady. And he may have been a little, he would never tell you this, Tom wouldn't, but you never know. It's still, back in there, and it's Boulware again. All sorts of time. But Boulware makes a nice read on it. Remember, he's their 2nd-round pick that Seahawks drafted for up the middle, Tubbs and Boulware, and they're making a contribution. And now, all of a sudden, the Seahawks, who unusually started slow, get Sean Alexander a 9-yard run, and it's 20-15. Mike Holmgren elects to go for 2 with 11 minutes to go. It pays off. Jeremy Stevens catches this from Hasselbeck. It's 20-17. Now 3 minutes to go. 23-20 New England. 3rd and 8. Brady. Falk into block. And Brady feels it and flushes left. Denzel Johnson had been in the doghouse a little bit. Activated for this game. 48 yards. And Mike Holmgren would challenge it, but it looked like a great call and a great catch.
Great call, great catch. When you talk about the call is we're not looking for 8. We're looking for 40. It's the difference in the mindset of this football team.
And New England just does this. Seattle in the game, but God, they stay mentally tough. And then Corey Dillon, a 9-yard touchdown. And Seattle, knocking at the door on the 1-yard line in the final play of the game. Even though they can't win it, New England still cares enough to break up the play, and they win by 10. 30-20. New England has now won 20 games in a row. Brady throwing for 231 yards. Seattle did have 443 yards of offense, but after the miscues at the beginning, Hasselbeck going for 349. Look, in this game, I'm reading your numbers, but how about the big picture as we go inside the numbers? Corey Dillon, 5 games, 522 yards. You know what they got?
There it is.
Last year, Antoine Smith and Kevin Falk. This is what they had in their game. Combined, you had about 1,200 plus yards. So Dillon, as we go inside the numbers, there's 520. You knew what they were getting with Corey
That's
Dillon.
right.
About 100
That's
yards
right.
today. Look, let me say this, because I think I'm in tune here from New England side. This is a team that does, I'm not smart enough to dissect all these plays and say, look, that's what Belichick and Romeo Crennel, et cetera, and they said to do this on defense. But the big picture was Seattle hasn't trailed all year.
Yes.
They haven't trailed all year, except that they never, the Rams beat them in overtime. Let's see what happens if we get them behind, saying New England. And they were way behind thanks to the plays by the defense. So here's a big picture and a little picture carried. God, are they in tune?
Well, not only in tune, I think they're a much better football team than the team that won the Super Bowl last year. And in terms of running the ball, you saw the numbers with Falk and Antoine Smith from last year, but you have a better singular runner in Corey Dillon. He's a very tough contact runner. That means he's going to be good for you inside the 1-yard line, but he also can make big yards outside. As we start getting into November, December, into January, you're going to see his best football, and I think that's something that this team really, during their Super Bowl runs, they really haven't had this kind of guy in the lineup. Corey Dillon is very tough, and again, he's out to prove something with this football team, and will be right through the playoffs.
You know what else they have, which they didn't do a lot last year? I think 23 or more in all 5 games. It's the second time they hit 30. They're scoring a lot. You're going to have to also score a lot to beat them against a defense that's given up some yards, but now they got some points to work with. And for Seattle, other end of the spectrum, they started sluggish, an early kickoff, a West Coast team. They looked sluggish, but they did show some fight and come back. And maybe, if it's true that they can build on that odd loss last week to the Rams, that maybe they build on this one. I know losses aren't good.
It's still an odd loss, and should the Rams win tomorrow night, you're still looking at a division that you could have been way up on top on.
That's why they play the whole season.
That's right. That's right.
When we return. But been some great games between the Steelers and Cowboys, as in Super Bowls. Even when they meet in the regular season, you get excited. And this was a game to get excited about. And Terrell Owens and the Eagles, they're excited every time they play. Revenge time.
Inside the Numbers. Brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
Sunday Night Football, and you had the feeling going into this that this could be a pinball wizard, as in scoreboard game, between the high-flying Minnesota Vikings and the team that likes to fly high, the New Orleans Saints. Down in the Bayou for highlights, Scott Van Pelt.
Saints with a 29th ranked defense trying to slow down the red-hot Viking offense. That didn't work. Dante Culpepper's thrown 13 touchdown passes his first 4 games. They're already up 7-0. Dante looking, and at this point you figure Randy Moss is probably out there. And guess what he is? This grab, wow, unbelievable. 10 straight games with a touchdown for Moss. And Dante was just getting warm. Looking again for Randy. This doesn't work out nearly as well on a number of counts. Fakir Brown gets the pick, and Randy Moss, more importantly, laying down, waving for the trainer. Take another look. Moss gets tangled up with Jay Bellamy, falls awkwardly. Trainer took a look. Moss tries to loosen up on the sideline. He came back briefly, but left for the rest of the game with a pulled hammy. That didn't slow down Dante. Culpepper with the Vikes up 21-14. He's got all day, all day, all day.
He was baking cookies back there?
Jermaine Wiggins is eating cookies. That's Culpepper's 4th touchdown pass. Jermaine tried to breakdance, which was really quite hysterical. Yeah. Now Fred McAfee, all-pro special teamer with the Saints, trying to do something to get back in it. 54 yards down to the Vikes 19. That led to a Deuce McAllister touchdown. The Saints, they did their part, offensively anyway. They stayed within 7. 4th quarter, Culpepper, again, goes up top to Marcus Robinson. And then Dante, I'm sure, would do that thing where he rolls his arms. 5 touchdowns. This is after a dunk. That's pretty nice. His 3rd 5-touchdown game of the season. And Week 6 is capped off with the Rams fresh off their thrilling win over the Seahawks, hosting the Bucs Monday night at 9 Eastern on ABC. Monday Night Countdown on ESPN at 7:30 Eastern. Get you all set for the game.
Out to the AFC West for the Denver Broncos at the Oakland Raiders. Mike Shanahan loves to beat his ex-team. He's 14-4 against them going in. Jake Plummer, play action to Jeb Putzier for a 12-yard touchdown catch. He puts you into the end zone, and it's 7-3 Denver. Then Plummer drops back. So much for keeping both teams in the game. He was sharp here, Tom. Dwayne Carswell, 10 yards. Quickly 14-3 Broncos. Later second, Plummer. Fake handoff. Throws it long to a guy that can go long. Ashley Lilly, touchdown, 31 yards.
And impressed that he's doing a lot of this work and doing it from the pocket. They rolled him a lot previously. Now they got him in the pocket.
And, you know, another week, another guy that runs for 100, maybe 200 yards, Ruben Drones. Made the Raiders look like drones. 22 yards, Drones 100 yards rushing at the half. Kerry Collins. I mean, it was painful to watch. It was. I mean, the picks were down, but this one by Kelly Herndon. Collins just throwing for 136. Drones, 4-yard touchdown run. Ruben Drones, after running for what, 190 last week, goes for 176 this week, Tom. Rushing yards. Denver 254, Oakland 31. Jerry Rice for the third time in 5 games. No catches. 31-3 Broncos. They clobbered them.
Yeah, and this is what, you know, I talk about this. Mike Shanahan enjoys this. He enjoys all his wins, but he enjoys this more than he does any other on the schedule.
As well he should. They're in big control in the division. Commissioner and Jerry Jones enjoying the game. And why not? Steelers, Cowboys always makes you pay attention. Ben Roethlisberger, 3-0 as a rookie, as a starter, and he seems to have a hookup with Plexico Burress. Maybe tall guy passing to tall guy, Tom, I don't know.
Yeah, Burress makes a great catch there, but you can see that his face mask was grabbed, and they also got that call.
How about this? Roethlisberger, big guy, can't move, right? Well, he moves and buys time and a touchdown to Burress. We're tied at 7 in the first quarter.
Yeah,
Second quarter.
Yeah, he gets pressured right there by Leroy Glover, gets rid of the football, but you saw his knee hit the ground right there.
Yep, and had to leave the hurt on the play, stays in the game, knee being iced down while Vinny Testaverde goes to work. Terry Glenn, she's wide open for a 48-yard pickup and a first down. Later in the drive on 2nd and 12, here comes Dallas. Late third, Testaverde, Keyshawn Johnson on the post. 22 yards. How about them Cowboys? They lead it 20-10. Nice job there, Keyshawn. So now, 20-10. Tricky Steelers. Busted play as Staley throws it back to Roethlisberger. Whoa! The old option to Jay Remersma. Total ad-lib.
Yeah, and he has that calm in the pocket. He understands where he is on the field, and he always wants to get rid of the football.
Jeremy Tooman with the touchdown from Roethlisberger, and 12 minutes left, 20-17. Steelers within 3. Blitz. Vinny. Vamos! Kimo von Oelhoffen recovers for the Steelers. And a big play by the defense.
Yeah, and take another look at this. You're going to see that the ball right here, when Testaverde brings it down, it's going to deflect right off of his own man, Richie Anderson. And that's how the Steelers got the football.
And then you know that if they're inside the 3, it's Jerome Bettis. Oh, man, he's up to 2 yards a carry now for the season. And another touchdown. Steelers, with 30 seconds left, lead it 24-20. Now the Cowboys have 1 shot left with 8 seconds. Testaverde to Richie Anderson. Back to Glenn. The hook and lateral. 30-yard gain. With 1 second left, they have, Red Auerbach's timekeeper. They have 1 second left, Tom. Testaverde. What do you do if you're the Steelers?
You got to knock it down.
And and it's incomplete. And the Pittsburgh Steelers down 10 points to Bill Parcells' Dallas Cowboys. And Ben Roethlisberger, now 4-0. Ben Roethlisberger completed his last 11 passes of the game. They win 24-20. Only 1 rookie quarterback since the merger. That would be Mike Kruzek, Pittsburgh, 1976. Started better than 4-0. He won his first 6.
Yeah, 21 of 25 on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. I told you that this kid is not a kid. He's a more mature player than what his age will tell you.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers are 5-1. When we return, well, LaDainian Tomlinson and Mike Vick essentially traded for each other. Draft day deal before the two were in the 2001 draft. And Brett Favre in Detroit. They always struggle there, and the Packers in deep trouble. Or were they? Chargers at the Falcons. Falcons losing for the first time all year last week. San Diego surprising as well. LaDainian Tomlinson, Mike Vick. There's Tomlinson. Remember draft day swap, or the day before the 2001 draft, Vick, a Falcon, Tomlinson, a Charger, and LT on 4th and 1. Scores a touchdown, and we're tied at 7.
Yeah, and the great ones have different ways of getting into the end zone. That's up and over the top by LT.
Now, under a minute left in the first half, and Vick is going to go, picked off by Drayton Florence. Not a good throw, and the Chargers in business late in the halftime.
Yeah, Vick is staring out to the right. You got defenders. If you stare down receivers, he's going to follow your eyes right to the football. Florence right there. Great job driving to the flat route, getting in front of it, making a good catch.
Well, how are the Chargers 3-2? They're opportunistic. And so, as a result of the turnover, Drew Brees to Eric Parker, who pens his way into the end zone, and the Chargers scoring in the last half minute for Marty Schottenheimer, lead 14-7. Remember, the defensive coordinator of San Diego, Wade Phillips, who was the head coach the last couple of games last year for Atlanta. Atlanta paid him a lot of respect here this week, as well they should. But Vic saying, hey, wait a minute now, I'm not going to let you beat us. 17-7, they're behind. Peerless Price on a 50-yard bomb. And then 3 plays later from the 14. Watch this. What? Think he's fast? Touchdown! Vic's 14-yard run makes it 17-14, San Diego. Next possession for Jim Moore's Falcons. Vic lobs it. For him, it's a lob. For anybody else, it's a 32-yard bomb to Des White. And the Falcons lead 21-17. San Diego on the 38, just over 8 minutes to go. Breeze to the Kent State basketball player turned football receiver Antonio Gates. And little mix-up here. They had to burn a timeout. And they might have needed it later. 3 plays later to the 10, and there they are. They'd end up settling a field goal, 21-20. And then Vic.
Yeah, look at him make this play. He came close, so close to the line of scrimmage. He drew the defense up, dumped it over their heads. It's a play Elway used to use all the time.
And then Atlanta kneels down afterwards, and the 2 great players hugging. They'll be great for a long time. And the Atlanta Falcons are now winning by the count of 21-20. They're now 5-1. And that matched their win total that they had all last year, despite the fact San Diego had the ball for 37 minutes.
Yeah, you got to be impressed with Drew Brees as well and what San Diego did.
Absolutely. Green Bay back against the wall. Brett Favre and squad hammered Monday night at home by Tennessee. Roy Williams dressed but did not play for Detroit. Mike Sherman calling the plays. Tim Rossley, offensive coordinator, angioplasty surgery this past week. Meanwhile, Favre, Donald Driver, touchdown, and Brett has had plenty of troubles in all the domes in Detroit. Silverdome, Ford Field, 7-0 pack. But no trouble today. Javon Walker runs under it. 50-yard gain on 3rd down. Favre to Tony Fisher. And 3 plays later, the Packers in the end zone. 13 yards, 14-7, Green Bay. 17-10 pack 3rd quarter. Joey Harrington has been much more careful with the ball this year, but not here. Darren Sharper, and watch the convoy he gets. Boom! With a block downfield. Whip! At the 3. Touchdown. Packers malign defense scores.
Yeah, forget that Joey Harrington is still a young quarterback. He's going to make some throws like this every now and then. You see this one, just not a good decision right there. Sharper, great job of jumping in front of the receiver, getting the ball, and then what an outstanding run. Shows the athlete that he is as he runs through, over, and around everybody to get to the end zone.
And then Favre feels it. He dumps one off to Najee Davenport, and it's a touchdown. 13 yards, 31-10 the Packers. And then Favre to Amon Green. Wait a minute, he's going to throw it. Amon Green, touchdown pass to Donald Driver. And he's still like a kid having fun.
Yeah, and look at the throw.
Nice.
You know, he's left-handed. I think people forget. And look at the nice catch by Donald Driver. It's just a great play by the Packers.
So Brett Favre passes Fran Tarkenton, and this was the number for a long time, 47,003 as the leading passer. So it's Marino, Elway, Moon, now Favre. And the Packers, with a much-needed win at 38-10 to snap their 4-game losing streak. And Detroit's 1-2 at home and 2-0 on the road.
Yeah, inexplicable set of circumstances as you watch these teams play.
And, oh, by the way, talk about impressive records in pro football. Brett Favre now 2nd all-time for most consecutive games in which he's thrown a touchdown pass, passing Dan Marino with 30. How about Johnny Unitas in another era? You want to know, kids, how good this guy was? 47 straight games in another era of which he threw at least a touchdown.
From Louisville.
Yeah, from Louisville. Panthers, Eagles. Last year, the Panthers came into Philadelphia, beat Donovan McNabb and company 14-3 in the NFC title game. But McNabb has other weapons, like Terrell Owens. 53 yards between a pair of Panthers, and so second and goal. After one more play, and then, how about Dorsey Levens? Levens' way raises himself up into the end zone. 10-0 Philadelphia, early second. Jake, daylight come, and on this day, he had the Delhomme. Javon Curse nailed him, but they knew that Delhomme was really the weapon. No flag thrown on Curse. Helmet to helmet?
I think it's helmet to shoulder, actually.
Yeah.
He got him on the shoulder before the helmet went up.
But you know, Jake will not leave the game. He's a tough customer. 10-0 Eagles. McNabb to Owens. The one thing they didn't do today was to score a touchdown. But look at these 2 plays of 50 or more. 51-yard play, whoop, by Owens. That sets up a David Akers field goal from Louisville. And now it's a 16-0 game in the third. And get ready to sing, Tom. Delhomme, back to pass. And then it's Lido. Oh, Lido, man. You don't need it. Ball skags his way into the 64-yard touchdown return. How about Corey Simon downfield with the block? Watch Simon blocking 300-pounder Jordan Gross.
Yeah, and this is hustle. This is people wanting to make the play, getting out in front of people. Look at him right there.
Uh-oh.
Look at Corey take a bead on him. And you love it. You just wait for the block, and then you move in behind it.
And wow, Delhomme and the Panthers battered one off of the road.
You're good.
Good tune. Eagles, good team. 30-8. Philadelphia, last time they were 5-0, 1981. Dick Vermeil coach, Ron Jaworski quarterback, and the Eagles, hey, look, they're having fun. They're getting big leads. This wasn't so much a revenge game as a dangerous team, Carolina, that they got out of there right away.
No, and people talked early on about the question mark maybe being their rush defense. I was one of those people. It changes when you have an offense that puts things together like this. Then your defense can follow that up with any kind of pressure they want. They've got one of the best coordinators in football. The right defensive tackle, Darwin Walker, left defensive end, Javon Curse. One guy gets the push inside. Curse comes around the corner, and you get that kind of pressure on Delhomme, causing the incomplete pass. You see even there, Delhomme gets rid of the football. Look at the defensive front as they close in and hold that to about a 5-yard gain. Here you look, if you're the quarterback, you see 7 in the box, but really we're only going to bring 5. You don't know which 5 we're going to bring. When we do, we're going to pull some guys back. It's not an all-out blitz. It's a zone blitz, followed up by zone coverage, and then a 4-man rush. But then Brian Dawkins, great timing, as he comes up, and they get to Delhomme. So a long day for a quarterback when you've got a coordinator like Jim Johnson who can do all of these things with these blitz packages, run blitz packages, zone blitz packages when I've got the lead. And so far this season, this team's shown they can get the lead pretty much when they want.
137 points in 5 games.
There
the
you
real
go.
Jim Johnson.
Yes, the real Jim Johnson. That's right.
The real Jim Johnson. Philly, 5-0. New England, 5-0. Jets, 5-0. When we return, we will discuss game balls and many a candidate. Tommy and I will wrap up Sunday, Week 6 in the NFL. We return in prime time.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting low-carb Miller Lite. And in part by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
Boomer, my game ball goes to Cleveland's Jeff Garcia. He and his coach, Butch Davis, went after each other a little bit. Seemed to have come out of it okay. 16 of 23. Boy, what a completion average per pass completion. But 4 touchdown passes, every one of them outside of the pocket. So I think Garcia got at least his coach to listen to him.
And in the record books with a 99-yard touchdown. Well, look, Byron Leftwich, gimping, limping, and winning late. He's made a habit of it, and he and the Jaguars are in the hunt at 4-2 because Leftwich, despite the fact that he played hurt late, led the Jags to another final minute victory, and he threw for almost 300 yards, as you see. Well, see, week 7, we have a, quote, really big game because the 5-0 Jets are at the 5-0 Patriots, first of 2 meetings, obviously same division there. And it'll be fun to dial in on this thing.
Well, I think offensively, when you look at the two teams, good quarterbacks, good running backs, solid offensive line, I think really outstanding receiving core. Big question, how far have the Jets come with that defense? I know they're faster, but how far have they come?
Well, and New England just mentally so tough.
That's right.
No stone unturned, big picture or little picture. It's at Foxborough. They and the fans will be ready, but
It'll be good.
The Jets have come this far. It'll be fun. For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching Week 6 of NFL Prime Time.